Hello, we're on our second half of our session based on Mungoda Gold. I've tweaked the adventure a bit, so it's not quite as is in the book, but that wasn't going to work with the group that we have. Why have I got the wrong page up there? Something always has to technically go wrong before we play. Why aren't you working?
Is that like a...
There we go.
Is that a news site for Zeppelins?
It's a potential client for doing some video work. So they make solar-powered dirigibles for drones.
At least it wasn't something embarrassing.
Yes, at least it wasn't. I don't know. Nakedorcs.com or something. Right. So, all of our players are linked together by these magical swords, which are related to this world's version of King Arthur. But they spend all their time roaming around and then sort of coming together randomly. There's like a magical gravity to these things that takes them where they're needed, which just happens to be whatever adventure we're running, which is terribly convenient. They were in the service of Baron Aldred for some time over in Albion, but following various problems and the death of the Baron's son, they were forced to flee to the continent, where they washed up in Ferromain, which is a sort of fantasy Venice. So during its merchant period, merchant princes, and lots of skullduggery and poisonings and opportunity. There they fell in with an outrageously Italian merchant adventurer who has bet his last coin on an adventure to the mysterious continent of Mungoda, which is where, after a lot of trials and tribulations, they've finally arrived at a village in the jungle there. Their sponsor is engaged in negotiations with the locals, and that's pretty much where we were. So the characters that weren't here last time, you were here all along. You were just working as crew on the ship or something and stayed out of the way of all the dangerous stuff. So that's that explained. So I should just set the scene, and then away we go. So you're in the estuary town of Paru. Paru is a whole bunch of, sort of wooden and bamboo buildings built on stilts all along the sides of the estuary here, but before the swamps really sort of kick in. It's very, very hot. There's insects everywhere. Between the estuary mud and the swamp, it's pretty smelly. But it's also clearly extremely fertile land here. The people here don't seem to want for food. They seem fairly primitive to your eyes as people from the civilized continent. But they seem to do all right. Metal goods seem to be rare. And up until now, they haven't placed particular value on gold, which has meant that Milano, the merchant adventurer you're working with, has been able to fleece them, getting enormous amounts of money for fairly sort of normal, simple, everyday items. He's in suite with one of the village elders called Imbi, who's taken on a more continental sort of lifestyle and look, and has learned the language and has clearly done pretty well out of it. And you were in there being introduced to him when you're interrupted. Another one of the villagers comes bursting in through the curtain and speaks away in the native language. Imbi hushes all of you with a wave of his hand while he listens to all this. It seems we have more guests. Strange that two ships should arrive at the same day. Perhaps while I conduct negotiations with Milano here, you could see who these visitors are and ensure that they're here in peace. If they're foreigners like you, perhaps your presence will calm them.
Yeah. I'm just gonna walk outside.
Okay. The messenger dawdles around the door. Are the rest of you following?
Could I a brief whisper in Milano shell like?
Yeah.
Ask if there's any additional instruct. I'll keep that quiet, just
Yeah.
so I've heard. Ask if Milano has any additional instructions as regarding competition.
We want to discourage any competition, so look for opportunities.
Understood. I'll go off and hide behind the large people again.
Right, but everyone else is following along? Yeah. Okay.
Sure, the distance.
Yeah. So Sir Elaine takes the lead. It is sweltering in your armor. You can feel your sweat puddling in your boots as you march along. But at least the insects aren't able to get at you so much. There's a second ship that's weighed anchor pretty much alongside your merchant cog, but it's a strange-looking vessel, the like of which none of you have ever really seen before. Let me find something so I can give you a description. Right. It's about the same size as yours, but it's much lower in the water, more like a Viking longboat almost. It has 3 straight masts, 1 large, 2 smaller, and it's built up with sort of like a castle and sort of mild fortifications on the side, but they're much simpler and more minimalist. 3 enormous red sails, which are splayed like fans, 1 on each mast, and a simple triangular pennant flapping in the breeze from the top.
I don't know what that is.
Sorry.
It could be an enemy of some sort.
Does Sir Elaine recognise the symbol at all?
I don't.
It's just a simple plain red flag.
I think I know what you're describing out of character as well. But I don't want to mess a game.
Yeah, I don't think any of your characters would be from the right kind of border areas where you may have seen any of these. So, yeah. Some strangely attired men are getting into a launch from the vessel, and they begin rowing towards the shore.
Okay.
How do they appear to be armed, James?
There is a masked man in long robes who doesn't appear to be armed, and there are men in brightly coloured, strange-looking, maybe leather armour, carrying swords, but no shields.
You should prepare yourselves in case they attempt to attack.
Milano did advise additional instructions to try to discourage trade from these guys with Imbi, in case that was in doubt. Friendly competition is not to be encouraged.
How many men are there?
There's the guy in the robes, a slightly more grandiose looking man, so one of the knights with the swords perhaps, 3 other knights and a few sailors who look pretty much like sailors do everywhere.
Well, I'm just gonna wait by the shore.
Okay.
Not gonna draw my sword, but I'm ready.
Announce to them before they arrive.
Sorry, what did you say?
Announce to them before they arrive.
Okay. Well,
Shouldn't you hail them from afar?
Makes sense. I'll wait until they're in earshot and then shout out.
Okay. They don't seem to have noticed you until you do that, and then they take a good look in your direction.
Oi!
The man in the robes doesn't seem too flapped by it. The man in the more elaborate armor sort of stands up and pulls the faceplate down on his armor, and it's carved like a kind of demonic face. The other men aren't wearing helmets, but they've tied red cloth around their heads to stop the sweat getting in their eyes.
Ahoy there! Are you friend or foe?
They don't say anything back to you, but the man in the robes takes one hand out of the sleeve of his robe and just sort of makes a waving motion.
They're waving back. They may not have an intent, but I don't like how they put their armor on just then.
Did that appear like he was casting a spell?
There's no lights, no sense of any magic being cast, so just a gesture, you think.
I'll put my crossbow. With my last crossbow bolt.
You only have one crossbow bolt.
Yeah, he hasn't had a chance to get any more. Okay, so the launch comes up to the shore, and the sailors jump off and sort of tie it off into place. Looking at them, they're much more subservient to these people than your crew was to you. So they're helping the man in robes off the vessel, and one of them actually sort of crouches down in the waves as they lap in, to allow the knights to step on his back and then down onto the shore.
Don't get any ideas, Elaine.
Hello there. What business do you have here?
They pause a moment to confer, and then the man in the robes and the larger, more ostentatious-looking warrior approach. The man in the robes has a white mask with a painted feminine face on it. It's a little peculiar. He bows extremely low to you.
Courtesy, overwhelming. I'm gonna bow back. But not as quite as low.
What about the rest of you?
I should adopt my most intimidating stance
Okay.
that I can muster.
You're not going to curtsy? I'll perform my finest Venetian courtly bow.
Very nice. Anyone else?
I'll give a light bow, but not all the way down.
Okay.
Eyes staring intently.
Right.
I'll bow down, but I'll keep an eye on them as I'm bowing down, but not as low.
Okay. So Becca engages in a staring competition with the other
A slight
knight.
tilting of the head.
Yeah.
Can you roll a d20 under your looks and tell me how much under you get?
Yes, 9. Yes. Success.
So how many under is that?
6 under.
Okay. Yeah, you both glower at each other. His mask is a little bit intimidating, but he flinches first and seems very upset with himself that he did that. Right. The man in the robe he seems to sort of think for a moment and then speaks. Greetings, I'm Subotai. These are my companions. We're here on a merchant mission. I take it you are foreigners. You don't seem to have the same aspect as the natives here.
You would assume correctly.
And your business here?
Much alike as you.
You are also here to trade. Unfortunately,
Indeed.
I hope our competition will not become combative.
Well, from from the sounds of things, it appears there is more than enough trade for the both of us.
Hopefully. We're planning to strike a little more inland. So perhaps we won't get in each other's way at all. The sailors are starting to unload sort of expedition gear, but they don't seem to have any mules or anything with them, whereas on your ship there were a couple of mules kept in the hold, and those have been unloaded and are being used to move all the goods.
Do you need any assistance? I can lend you a hand if you need some help unloading.
Such duty is beneath gentlemen such as ourselves. Leave it to the servants.
I could get my servant to help me look over at Becca. Wait, no, you're not a servant. Keep forgetting.
I shall poke him in the armpit where there's no plate.
With your sword.
Harsh but fair.
Yeah, they don't seem particularly inclined to conversation. The sailors start rowing back to the ship to fetch more gear.
I'm gonna walk back to the group and sort of say, I know that you said that our beneficiary would prefer us to track them, but I can't bring myself to send them away. They seem lawfully here.
Judging by their accent, James, can I tell where they're from?
No. You couldn't see Subatai's face or the other knight. The other men looked similar to men from the east. So Mongol equivalents, but not quite the same.
Right. So the civilized Mongols, right?
So it would appear.
One sec.
Right.
Has Becca ever been as far as the steppes?
You're from the far north. Actually, apart from the color of their skin, they look similar to some of your tribal peoples. Like the Sami from northern Finland, so they look a little bit similar to them.
Interesting.
I have to make all these comparisons to the real world because I don't know the fantasy world that well.
I think that's the Norring Wastes, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's where Becca's from.
like northern Siberia, northern Finland, those sorts of areas. There are tribal peoples that do look quite Asiatic. So
it's basically like the Russian equivalent of the Mongolian horde.
Yeah.
Fighting style. Yeah. Okay.
And these guys look similar to them, but darker skin.
Ooh, interesting.
And they don't look like barbarians. Their stuff all looks very well made and artistic rather than pragmatic. Right. Well, they seem to be busy doing all their stuff to get ready for their expedition. So
they're not actually interested in trade so much. They're just...
Well, they said they were here for trade, but...
I'll head back
Our
to...
group,
Oh, sorry, you're saying?
Our group is not here to trade, right?
Milano is, and you're here to do whatever it is Milano wants.
I'm going to head back to Milano.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking... we have experienced travel a lot. So how much stuff are they unpacking?
A lot.
And it's not goods. You said it's not goods.
No,
it's equipment and supplies.
It's equipment and supplies, but roll d20 under your perception.
13. I don't think so. No.
No. Okay. It seems to be a lot of stuff for an expedition, but not enough for trade.
Yeah, they're going into the interior, aren't they, guys? They're going into the jungle.
I mean, you're from the barbarian lands. You're used to kind of getting by, drinking elk blood and eating magic mushrooms and licking lichen off rocks and that sort of thing to survive. So, to your point of view, people like Sir Alain and so on, they carry too much stuff wherever they go as well. And then these guys seem to be carrying even more stuff than they need. Right. Does anyone want to do anything else other than return to Milano?
I'm staying behind to watch them.
Okay. Anyone else?
If I can do it without being intrusive, I will approach. Was it the guy with the mask that was speaking?
Yeah, Subutai seems to be in charge.
Are you not here to try to trade with the local tribes? You have a different target in mind?
A little, but we have been here before. We're following up on other things.
Oh. It would appear we're not in competition. Good luck to you.
Good. I do so detest conflict.
Oh, so do I. Probably for entirely different reasons.
It's beneath us to tangle with barbarians. He doesn't seem to realise that that's insulting. Okay, so two of you are sort of hanging back and conversing with them and keeping an eye on what they're doing. The rest of you move back to the hut to see how Milano's getting on. There's another man in the hut now who seems to be one of the sailors who came over on the skiff or whatever it was. He's sat cross-legged on one mat, Milano sat cross-legged on the other mat, and Imbi is sat in the middle. Milano has a scowl on his face. The sailor seems to just sort of be fairly impassive, and Imbi is grinning from ear to ear.
It appears that you have at least some competition.
Yes and no.
What do you mean?
Our friends here say they are from Kitai, and they have explained to Imbi, so generous, so kind of them, they have explained to Imbi the true value of gold.
Oh, I see.
So, for Imbi to honor our deal, he wishes the balance to be more in his favor than before.
Well, did you plan for this, at least?
This is where you come in. Imbi, my friend, explain to my companions. Amongst my people, if I am fooled, it is considered to be my fault, and we consider it a fine joke. But our trade is not yet completed this time. I will honour it, but only if you perform an additional task for me.
It seems reasonable.
Our people, when they have gone hunting in the swamps, have been attacked more and more often by lizard folk, by Draco men. It seems to me that they must have set up a new village somewhere nearby, or grown in numbers large enough that they're wandering further abroad. If you would drive them away, then the deal can proceed.
So, you wish for me and my companions to dispatch with these lizard men? It seems reasonable. We are quite versed in killing.
And you have weapons of metal.
Indeed.
Our spears, our stone often breaks against their skin, so it's hard for us to fight them. And we do not have what's the word? Soldiers? We only have hunters. You wield magic and metal. They should be no problem for you.
Well, we're under Milano's employ, so Milano, what say you?
I cannot pay you more than what we agreed, but if you're willing, and if they have anything worth taking when you drive them away, you're welcome to keep it.
You're not willing to pay us extra for a service. So then it seems that the decision must be, what is the word, between those willing to go. I would not ask these men to risk their lives for no tangible rewards, you see.
I'd sank my last coin into this venture. Imbi will not honour the deal if you do not perform this task, which means none of us will get paid in that instance. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. All I can say is you're welcome to keep whatever you find amongst the lizard men.
It seems also it could be wise to consider a profit in your future endeavor to pay for the extra service that is going to come. While you may not pay now, you will make money off this deal and can pay these men honorably for the extra job they are going to do, correct?
As I say, everything is risked on this venture. Un momento. He rummages in his pack and brings out a notebook, ink, quill, and a little abacus, and sits there and flips the beads around and stares into the middle distance for a while. I can maybe spare another 100 florins each, as well as whatever you take.
That seems adequate.
It seems that we are inclined to acquiesce to your extra proposal.
Equitable, maybe?
So you were already paid 500 florins in advance. This would be another 500 florins. And you're also due 1/20th of what he makes on this venture. And whatever you get from the lizard men.
Oh, here, I was just saying he could take us from 1/20th to 2/20ths. But okay, anyway.
I think a nice pair of boots, I think, is what I'm aiming for.
All right, I'll send the word to the rest of the men. And I'm just going to head out and tell everyone else what the situation is.
Okay. Is everyone all good with that?
Can we talk? So you say Draco men, like people that dress up in skins, or are they some sort of monster?
Well,
the way they describe them, they appear to be some sort of lizard man.
We've never been here before. We have no idea what the environs are like. So they could be blokes in funny hats, or they could be 6-foot lizards.
Lizards of unusual size? I don't believe they really exist. Well, it is a new experience. I'm up.
Out of character, I say, let's all go. Otherwise, this isn't an adventure if we don't go. No.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
I was going to do it for no money.
Experience points. Okay, so do you want to head off immediately? Do you want to stay here overnight to rest up and feed and gather water and supplies? What's
out of character? All the magic points come back after sleep.
At midnight, usually, regardless.
Okay, and so we have a guy who is injured right now, and how long would he fully heal before the morning? Or is it a slow heal over days?
Is anyone still injured? I think everyone
No.
healed up at the Magician's Tower, so I think everyone's all right, actually.
Oh, I thought that's why he was hiding in the back.
No,
He just has low HP.
he's just naturally weak and sickly.
Gotcha. Never mind. The low hit points is what I was wondering about. Never mind.
So, are there maps? Is there an inherent insect repellent here?
They probably have something.
I could probably make a salve or something for such.
Well, you can learn from the locals. Caesaurus have got a basic understanding of poison and basic alchemy as well.
Because going along slapping ourselves at regular intervals will really knacker our spell.
Maybe you can hire someone to walk along and slap you for you.
That's an entirely different situation.
Yeah, the locals do have a salve that they put on to keep insects off them, and they're willing to trade with you in exchange for a metal knife or axe.
Ooh. Now, I only have the one, I believe.
Yeah, I think.
Although, if I could have backtracked, he would have picked up a few more in Valencia. No, wherever he was. But
Pheromone. Yeah, but no, if it's not on your sheet, you don't have it. I think Becca's got a hand axe.
I have a dagger as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and javelins.
Now, a javelin for a hunter, that might be a thing.
With a metal tip to it as well.
I'm gonna say that if you need a dagger to trade with them, I could part with mine. I don't seem to use it very often. Although in return, perhaps you could.
You don't die of malaria?
That's a good idea. Right, fine. Here, take it.
Okay.
I was going to ask for a favor in return, but...
Yeah, he gives you all a clay pot of this salve. It has a weird, unnatural smell to it. It leaves your skin sort of slick and sticky, but the insects seem to hate it, so it'll do the job.
I was thinking, you said that we're all hot and sweaty in our armour, so that's just walking about.
Yeah.
What's going to happen if we fight? We're going to die of exhaustion, aren't we?
Unless you have plenty of safe, fresh water, yeah.
That's what I was actually looking up. I have water skin. You probably should pick up extra water skins.
Would make sense.
The sailors can strap a couple of barrels of water from the ship's hold onto the side of one of the mules for you. So,
I was going to mention to Knave guy. What's his
Caradoc.
name? Marduk.
Marduk? Damn it.
Which you're playing.
Madrock.
Do you, whilst it's like the people that have like landed and are unpacking and whatnot, they've got to like have like some sort of information for where they're actually going on them.
Should we warn them?
Do you want to try and like sneak in and like steal any sort of like information from them?
I can do that.
You could do that.
either of you could do that.
Wait, did a knight just say to sneak in and steal something?
He's a knight, not a paladin.
Yeah.
Oh.
He said, music to my ears.
And he had some rather dark experiences during the Crusade, so he's a bit more morally flexible.
Now, of course, my version would be I would be more inclined to negotiate with them, possibly find out with a view to not treading on each other's toes, and trade the information about these lizard men things. That would be how I would. Normally.
Yeah, if you want to approach them openly, you can.
You could also say if they're going the same direction, we could all work together to stay safe as we travel through such lands as well.
Oh, it's not a hippie commune. That's not going to work out, is it?
I don't think they would like that. that would um, I couldn't see them accepting that. It would seem as if we were spying on them.
They also seem much more prepared than our expedition is. So, what do we really have to offer them in exchange for information? Whereas in stealing the information from them is stealing, and we don't have to offer them anything.
I'm not saying the other guy can't do that as well with me as a and also while I'm talking to them, I could clock what the type of equipment they've got, maybe get more of an idea of their purpose.
It seems very likely that they're going inside to get something. If they're not here to trade, maybe like a temple of gold. That's our golden temple. We need it.
And we was told anything we find.
Doesn't belong to the indigenous population. No. It's ours. We found it.
So we've turned Spanish, have we?
They were plastering it to walls. They don't need it. They were using it for decor. We need it for armor.
Okay, so does that sound good if I approach? That doesn't really give anything away to them, although possibly a brownie point about letting them know about the lizard guys.
Yeah.
And if...
and then there's always thievery as a fallback position.
Yeah, or as I could be a distraction.
Yep.
Okay,
that's me coming in.
Aha.
Clone.
There we go.
Beard Squad represent.
I had to shave mine for work.
Oh, the beard. Yeah.
Okay. So Cesaro's on backup, ready to thieve if necessary, and Madrock is going to try and negotiate.
I thought Cesaro was doing that anyway. It was just
right. So Madrock sort of slides over to where they're unpacking all their gear. Roll d20 under your perception.
a 4. I'm pretty sure that does it.
Yeah. Okay. So this guy Subutai appears to be nobility of some kind, and his second in command, the knight with the weird demon mask, also seems to be of high rank. So a lot of the stuff that they're unloading is over the top sort of stuff, suitable for keeping them in the fashion to which they are, accustomed.
Tents, pillows.
Yes.
No.
Tents, pillows, sort of wooden inlaid and enamelled wash basins, shit like that.
Fairly insufficient 40 cases of clothing,
and they seem to be paying off a bunch of the natives to carry stuff for them. They don't seem to be too bothered about having or not having any horses or mules or anything. Subutai also appears to have a big chest full of scrolls that he's taking with him. Some light reading, perhaps. Who knows? But yes, you come over. The man in the demon mask sort of steps in front of you when you get close. Sort of looks you up and down.
Yeah, an open bow.
Okay, he inclines his head very slightly.
Fair. I would like to speak to your companion.
Okay.
Or yourself, if you understand me, of course.
A little. Subutai. Guaylo. Right. The man in the robe and the feminine mask comes over and bows more courteously. Ah, the foreign barbarians.
Yes.
Can I help you?
I might be able to help you. We've just received some information. There's Now, I don't know if it's native tales as regards the form of them, but some form of lizard man. There are groups about at the moment, and these are considered dangerous. Apparently, weapons bounce off of their hide, so I don't know if they're wearing something or if they are indeed monsters. It just might. You might wish to be a little more aware than maybe you were the last time you was here.
Very courteous of you. Thank you. We will be even more alert than usual.
There is one small other reason I wish to speak. We have been detailed to go off in a particular direction, and I wish to make sure that we don't tread on your toes, so to speak.
Well, we will be leaving momentarily. There is no time to waste. So you're welcome to go where you wish, but we're going where we wish, regardless.
Oh, I didn't wish to stop you. I just didn't want you thinking we'd be following you.
So we should be aware of ambushes and bandits and monsters, but we should not be aware of you following us, is what you were saying.
No. I didn't know anything about any bandits. Did you know anything about bandits?
There are always bandits.
Good call. No, it's just these lizard men. Again, I don't know if they're actual monsters or people dressed up, but they are causing problems, and we are being sent out to deal with them.
Well, good luck on your endeavour.
And you on yours.
Thank you. And he returns to overseeing.
Okay.
Right. Does Caesura still want to try and sneak in and blag anything that they've got?
How crowded is it?
There's a lot of people moving around doing a lot of things. I mean, they're distracted, but you've got a high chance of getting caught, you reckon?
I've got a high chance of getting caught, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it worth it for a chocolate biscuit?
They've got
I'm not. I'm
No.
gonna live.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back.
Well,
Okay.
it's up to you.
No, I'm coming back. I don't want a biscuit for a chocolate biscuit. I don't want my hand chopped off.
Yeah.
I can't force you to do anything you don't want to.
Well, I will tell you guys when I return. The only thing of possible real value, other than like lootable nonsense, chest full of scrolls. Now, considering the frippery that they were carrying, something as practical as that might be worth considering if we run into them later.
Madrock, who did you speak to? Did you speak to the knight or the priest?
The fellow in mask, Subutai. The warrior, I think, understood possibly more than he spoke.
Cool. So, could you read him? Did you get any sense?
Oh crap! Do you know I didn't actually think to even try that, but
It's one of your abilities, isn't it?
it really is. Yes.
I'll let you do it post hoc.
Hey. So that's.
What was your vibe from him?
So how does that work? I can't remember.
It's a perception check, and it's just reading a person. I think it's intent and such like.
Yeah, let me just look it up quick.
That was in the companion, wasn't it?
Yeah. I printed all my PDFs into 2 big volumes, so I've got it all handy. So.
I don't have that book. I've only got the standard.
Let's see, Knave.
Yes, it's if they're hiding anything or if they're being untruthful.
Yeah.
Hidden body language and hidden meaning.
Yeah.
How many meters away are they? Just curious.
From where?
Well, where the rest of the group is.
So you're kind of down in the equivalent of the town square is, I guess, and they're still unpacking close to the shore, so maybe 50 meters away. Here we are, human intuition. So what's your perception, Madrock?
With the bonus, 9.
Okay. So yeah, roll d20 under that.
6.
Cool.
I'm doing much better than the last session.
That's a terrible last session.
He's very hard to read because of the mask and because he's foreign with different sort of tones and inflections and so on to what you're used to. But you got the feeling he's, for all the politeness and facade, he doesn't like you very much. He's suspicious of the reason that you're here. And you got the sense he was expecting that he might have to fight you in the future and was studying you as much as you were studying him.
Hence, it makes much more sense sending in the least threatening.
Yeah.
If they think they're all like me, you guys are going to cheese them.
Seems that we think the same about each other.
Yeah.
So they're about ready to head off. Do you want to head into the jungle at the same time as them? Or do you want to wait till the morning? Or do you want to wait for nightfall when the heat's less oppressive?
How many days travel to the lizard people?
Well, you don't know. They only have a kind of vague direction that they're probably coming from. So you'll be...
It was their last encounter.
Yeah.
How far away?
Only... Well, see, they're locals and they know how to move, so it'll probably take you longer. So maybe 4 hours into the jungle to find the site of the most recent encounter, and then maybe that again. But it's going to be hard going, and you don't know the terrain, and you'll be having to track them, so that'll slow you down. So maybe a day out and a day back.
Why don't we ask, what's his name to act as a guide?
There we go.
Imbi.
Imbi.
He's a village elder. That's kind of beneath him.
Get one of his hunters to go with us. Perhaps even one of the ones that was attacked, who knows where everything was.
What? I can provide a guide for you. What will you give me in trade?
I've already given away my dagger, so it's one of your turn.
So, has anyone got anything to trade for a guide?
How does he feel about marble worked stone? I've got some of those claws from the Temple of the Moon, or Moon Dogs.
Oh yeah, the moon dog.
Had that forever.
You can
Yep,
show.
for some reason, I've got them.
Yeah. You got some of them. Yeah, you show those to him. Claws from a stone beast. It must have been a mighty foe.
Give him the story. That'll be part of the trade.
Yeah, he seems to value that. He hangs on every word and seems to be pausing to memorize it. Asks you to tell bits of it over again, and then agrees. So yeah, he'll take those off your hands.
I won't embellish my part in it too much.
As is tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so minus marble claws. Yeah, and he details a man from the town to act as your guide. Let's find a random name for him.
Bug.
Unga Bunga. Yeah.
Unga bunga.
It was Captain Caveman, wasn't it?
Unga bunga. Yeah. Caveman!
I get the feeling this is a reference that's going over my head.
You never saw
look up Captain Caveman. Google Captain Caveman.
And the Teen Angels. It was basically a low-budget Scooby-Doo that wasn't as good as the all-new Shmoo.
No, it was further back. It was Flintstones break off. I mean, it was one of those from way back in the day, cartoon
They
from
did a
the
crossover.
early America. Huh?
They did a crossover once.
Yeah, long time ago.
No,
That
You
stupid
can't
Martian
be- you
alien
can't be-
too, I think.
You can't be Danger Mouse.
oh yeah.
Oh, Danger Mouse rocked. I don't like the new one as much, but I like the old one.
Oh, did anyone see the 12 tasks of Danger Mouse when Danger Mouse went to Transylvania, he bumped into Count Dracula?
Didn't-
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, he presents the guide to you. The guide is an older man. He's all sort of wiry muscle, leathery skin, and sunspots. He's got one milky eye and a whole bunch of scars all down his arm and down one side. So,
Captain Expendable.
this is this is Isoke. He's an experienced hunter. Not so much these days, of course, but he can still track with the best of them. He doesn't speak your language, but I've explained to him what you are doing, so he will come with you and take good care of you.
Soki.
Isoke.
And there's me thinking of stars.
Can I ask a martial question? So, their weapons and are they just sort of? Is it just sort of a flint or obsidian and wood and?
Yeah, flint and obsidian and wood. A lot of it's like the Maori clubs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the big flat sort of cricket bat looking motherfuckers with the bits of stone or obsidian all around the outside.
So that'll still kill you. Yeah.
Yeah. And flint-headed short spears, short stabbing spears, hide shields. Yeah.
So it just occurred to me, fellas, that the area of marketing, yeah, we could bring them iron weapons, and then we can train them how to use them as well for extra gold. How about that?
Yeah. A future trade mission could do that. That'll probably do quite well for you. Are you going to express that idea to Milano, or are you going to keep it to yourself?
Oh, just between us, I think it's
Yeah.
yeah. We need cards to play, don't we?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, now you've got your guide. When do you want to set off?
Probably daylight, because as much as like walking in the nighttime where it's cool sounds tempting, it's still the nighttime. It's dark.
We should do morning.
Like we're gonna get in trouble that way.
So sunrise, so you can travel before it gets too hot and get some good distance. Okay.
Probably break in the when the sun's in the highest, and then carry on until twilight.
Okay.
Set up camp.
Right. So Imbi throws a party for you since you're staying the night. So a big fire is built. Tribal music plays. You're fed all manner of exotic fruit and meat. But no one's hurt, so you're all pretty good.
That won't backfire on the trek tomorrow, will it?
So yeah, not everything is of a flavour that meets your palate particularly well, and you're none too pleased with the booze that they offer. It has a slight overtone of other people's spit to it.
Oddly, yeah.
Is there any chocolate? Any chocolate?
No chocolate. Wrong continent.
I know how that alcohol is made.
Yeah. But you still managed to have a pretty good time, though most of the natives are fairly standoffish with you. Like they're not quite sure what to make of you and your strange clothes, strange ways, and strange language.
I'll try and pick up a few words if I can. Just It's always good to try these things.
Okay. Yeah, so you try to have conversations with as many people as possible. The hunters, in particular, are interested in any metal goods that you have, and that seems to be a good way to strike up conversation.
So the only metal I've got is coinage, which is no real good for me.
I suppose I can. Well, we can do javelin tossing as my party trick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're very strong, but they're very experienced. So it's it's a good fun competition. And you shame many of the men who can't throw their spears as far as you can.
So they got accuracy. They don't have strength, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you have this party on the beach, James?
Yes.
How many people's left on the boat which came up beside our boat?
A fairly large amount. Looks like their crew was bigger than yours. You're packed in a bit more. So there's probably your crew is about 14 people plus officers, so maybe 20 plus you guys. Their original crew was maybe about 40, and about 20 of them remain.
What would be the chances of being able to swim up stealthily, creep into the captain's cabin, get his logs and maps and whatever, and then come back to it?
Fairly good.
In my favour or in their favour?
Have you got a death wish? Have you?
You would fall down by those huge, big brass balls of yours, though. So I don't know if that'll help.
Would it be in my favour or their favour?
The darkness and the unconventional approach all helps, but I'm not going to tell you exactly how much of a good chance you've got, but you think you've got a pretty good chance.
I'll say to Tin Man that says, do you want me to swim up to the boat, creep into the captain's cabin, get the captain's log, any maps, and then come back?
Sorry, who are you asking? The player
Jack,
group. Yeah.
Celine.
What?
Do you want me to swim up to their boat? Do you want me to swim up to their boat, go into the captain's cabin, get any maps, captain's log, and come back ashore?
I mean, if that's if you're willing to do that, that's definitely seems
well, I feel lucky.
Would be
I don't know about you.
advantageous.
I feel lucky.
Well, I can't exactly swim in this armor, so
Okay. Leave it to me. I'll be back in a minute. Smoke me a kipper.
Okay, what's your stealth?
perhaps I could.
Sorry?
What's your stealth?
20.
How long can you hold your breath?
Shit, they're using mustard gas. I'm fucked.
Okay, roll a d20.
Ooh. Any minuses or pluses?
I'll let you know. Let me know what you roll.
I got a 3.
Okay. Right.
I'm assuming lower's worse, right?
No, lower's better.
Oh, lower's better in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you creep into the water as quietly as you can. Slow breaststroke across the shallow water to the side of the ship. It's built strangely. It's not built like your ship, so finding a way to get up is a bit more tricky. So you find yourself sort of moving back and forth in the water a bit more than you would have liked. And then you carefully, finally manage to climb up, dripping water, moving very, very slowly and carefully and sidelong into the cabin while the sailors are busy. The cabin seems to have been reserved for Subutai and his party of knights. Even the captain seems to have been kept out. But there's no lock, per se, on the cabin. It was just sort of tied shut. So you undo the knot easily and slip inside. There are indeed logs and charts and maps stored in here in a lacquered trunk. But they're all in a weird-looking, squiggly language that you don't understand.
Could I get it all, or is it too much to carry?
You can get it all, but it's all going to get soaking wet on the trip back.
Not if I put it in my backpack?
It'll still get soaking wet.
Is it anything which I can put in at all?
If you could haul the whole trunk out, that might keep the water out. It looks fairly well made. Just a sec.
I think he's looking for scroll tubes.
Yeah, scroll tubes.
Scroll tubes, a little wax from a candle.
Yep.
There's a cask. You could drain whatever's in there out and wedge in a bunch of scrolls and so on in there and hammer the lid back down with your fist or something. That should keep the water out, or at least float above the water.
Okay. How big is the cask?
Like a little brandy flask.
He's a
Right,
guy
okay. Not on duty. Not on duty. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Is there a window I can pour the contents out into the sea?
They're not exactly windows. There's shutters and sort of wax paper stuck to it.
Unusual.
You can get somebody fired.
Does it look like it's a trap of any sort, James?
It looks like a keg.
No, I'm on about on the windows, the wax and the paper. Does it look like a trap or something?
No, I mean, in more impoverished houses in your cities, you've seen sort of waxed paper used to cover in place of glass before, but it's going out of style. But it looks like they still do it.
Right. Discreetly empty the barrel out.
Out of the window.
Yeah. The contents, not chuck the barrel out, but I'm chucking the contents.
It's a very pungent alcoholic smell, but not one that you're familiar with.
Sucky!
But yeah, you managed to pour it all out, and then just wedge in as many scrolls and charts and maps as you can.
Yep.
And then you beat the lid back on with your fist. Seems like a nice tight fit. And then creep out again.
Yep.
Okay. You slink off. Back
do you
out.
Want to make another stealth roll? Do you want to make another stealth roll?
I'm handling that. Don't worry about it. And you get back out, climb back down with the keg, and swim back to shore with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Doesn't seem like you were spotted. What did you find?
The keg gets Lane's feet.
I found the spoon, sir.
I'll prise it open with my dagger.
Okay, there's a bunch of crumpled scrolls and charts and maps. The maps make a little more sense to your eye, but everything's written in this weird kind of pictorial language that you can't read or understand.
Can anyone translate?
Not
Heraldon, you seem like the bookish sort.
Yeah.
Are you able to make sense of this?
I will take a look at it. And just curious offhand, for detect aura, when looking at someone's mystical aura, is that tell if somebody's a mage or something like that?
Yeah, you can detect any sort of latent magic or magical items or spells. You can tell if someone is a magic user. I tend to be fairly generous about what you can do with spells to make them a little bit more utilitarian.
I was just thinking about that guy who was leading the other group, the one who was not in armor.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. They've already taken off, though, right?
Yeah. You have only the most passing familiarity with the Kitai language. You'd need access to a decent library and plenty of time to translate these things. But once you get them back to Faramane, that shouldn't be a problem.
I say I cannot right now, but I have seen this script before. I would need the library back at the house, or maybe at the library, to to really translate it.
We don't have access to the library. What about the maps?
Looking at the maps, do any of the markings or the sayings same? Like, since they're smaller words and they're not really concepts, do they make sense?
Not really, but you can match up parts of the map to maps that you've seen from your part of the world. So your part of the world is quite well known and quite well mapped, and then the further east and the further south it gets, the more hazy and vague and here be dragons it gets. Their maps are kind of the entire opposite. So you've got extremely detailed maps of the east, and then they get hazier as they get towards your part of the world.
So if I take out one of the maps that our companions are carrying and I put it down and I arrange theirs and can say, well, here it is.
Yeah.
I cannot read the scripts that are there because the names don't make any sense. But
these,
you can see it's right here.
Yeah, but these bits of coastline and so on match up. So between the two, you have almost a full map of the world, but the extreme south.
The world, the continent.
The
world. These would be worth a small fortune.
Yeah, this would be worth like thousands and thousands of florins. Are you sure this is what you mean?
Is there a navigator on the ship? And would it be worth bringing him in to do a copy of these? Because it does. If we could put, I know it's additional risk, but if they could be returned with them none the wiser that you've snaffled them.
Other than they're all crumpled and smell of sake.
Yeah.
and the sake's missing.
I'm trying to
Somebody drank my sake, looked over my maps, and got a mess everywhere.
In that case, we've got to bear in mind that if they get back first before we leave, they're going to be all over us like a nasty rash.
There might be trouble. So this is going to take crackerjack timing, Wang.
They would have to prove that we were the ones who stole them. It could have easily have been the lizard men.
Somebody drank my sake. Then turned it into water.
It's like a reverse Jesus.
I did that once with my druid in D&D. I cast what was it? Neutralize poison. Well, alcohol's a poison, so
yeah.
Flavored water is what it became.
Okay, so
yes.
After the party and the night's hijinks, do you want to give the maps to the navigator to make copies?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. So he's going to stay up all the night doing that. Right. So the morning,
something out of the journey.
So the morning rolls around. The Kitai bunch disappeared during the party, so clearly have left already. And Isoke is up and ready at the crack of dawn, ready and raring to go. And you follow him, I assume.
Yep.
Any last minute preparations? You've got your mule with your water barrels. You've got rations from the ship. Enough for.
Do you want me to swim back with these maps and charts after we've got our copies?
Before they wake up on the ship? Sounds good.
Well, it seems unnecessary.
I don't think it'll do you any good to put them back. I think
they're committed now.
I think the penny will have dropped with sufficient force, even if you do
that. Damn!
Right.
Damn.
So Isoke leads you up the beach, sort of through the estuary mud and sand, across a short period of dunes, and then into the swamp. So you disappear into the low cover of these twisted swamp trees. There's vines stringing all over the place. The branches are low. You're constantly having to push them out of your way. Strange animal noises that you're not used to seem to come from everywhere. And while the insects aren't biting you, they are buzzing around you a great deal. A great big glittering dragonfly flies across your face, foot long, easy. Enormous mosquitoes. All kinds of snakes and beetles moving around in the murky water. And pretty much every step you make where you're not on one of these little islands that forms around these stumpy, heavily rooted trees, if the water's even slightly there or the ground's even slightly swampy, when your boot goes in, when it comes out, there's a horrible kind of belching sound and a whiff of stinking gas. Is anyone bare-legged, or is everyone in armor and leggings? And
I mean, light leather, so
No.
All got boots on it that you.
I will cut myself with staff so I can prod the
I
ground
couldn't
ahead.
be further from.
Further from bare-legged.
Yeah.
It's okay, but he just seems to wander through the water without too much bother, and doesn't. It even seems slightly phased when he emerges from the water with a bunch of leeches latched onto his lower legs. But he just doesn't seem that bothered by the whole thing. It rapidly gets hot and sweltering. It's almost like being in a steam bath. So Becca's probably okay. Because steam baths are a usual thing for your tribe, sweat lodges. The rest of you are suffering a bit, though. Can everyone roll a d20 under their strength?
Oh, yay.
My lucky number, 9.
Well, luckily I don't have metal on.
I rolled 16.
Is that over your strength?
Yes, over my strength.
Okay. Lose a health point from exhaustion.
Yeah. I rolled 15. That's like well over half again.
Okay, so lose a
I
health
rolled
point.
a 10, one below my strength.
Okay, so you're all right. Yeah, so if you rolled over, you lose a health point of damage. Yeah, and you're pretty sort of heat exhausted and having to drink a lot of water. You're going through it more rapidly than you thought you would.
Is that without metal armor though? Because it's only the gambeson I'm wearing.
That's just everyone anyway.
Even more than this, and I might even have to take my armor off.
Yeah.
If Becca reflects on her survival skills, could you give any advice? I mean, you just have to don't exert yourself, don't talk, don't strain, just walk slowly.
Yeah, you could strip down your armor to maintain as much protection as you can, but that will lower your armor, but it will allow you to avoid having to make tests like that again. But it's up to you whether you want to trade combat protection or not.
I'll keep it on for as long as I can bear.
In my case, yeah, I'll do it because
Never
it's
know
only
when.
one armor anyway.
So what armor have you got? Anything?
The gambeson one.
Okay, yeah, so you just strip that off sort of down to your shirt sleeves and...
Yeah.
And this.
Turn into a brawly or something to get a parasol.
Hold the gambeson above his head.
Isoke takes a big leaf that's growing at the side, sort of makes a split in it, folds it over and gives it to you as a hat.
Oh, very jaunty.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking, Sir Elaine, you could take off your arms and your legs. That would help a lot, wouldn't it? Really, for the weight.
Yeah. But I think Sir Elaine's set on keeping the armor as long as he can bear it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking my hauberk off.
Okay. Yeah, so stripping it down. So it's normally armor 4. If you strip it down to where it's more tolerable, it's only armor 2. So keep that in mind. Right. Isoke starts to slow down a bit and sort of cast about and sniff at things and scratch the sides of trees and taste it. And then you come onto a little rise, an almost dry island in the swamp, and he gestures about the place and says something in the native language, which probably means here.
Okay. Look around for tracks, maybe.
Okay. Everyone make perception rolls. So D20 under perception.
Nope.
Low. I rolled low.
Yay!
6. Hooray. Oh, wait. No, that is exactly my perception.
Okay, well, that's a success.
Hey!
I think the assassin's got the tracking skill as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Look at this pretty flower over here. It has medicinal properties.
No be smoke, nothing.
Look up at the butterfly. Is this plot?
I've had like a spat of
Flower.
bad rolls.
And then
This is the
the
first good
flower's
roll I've
like,
had in
So, who got successes? Sir Elaine?
Me.
Who has tracking? Anyone else?
No.
Nobody?
I saw a pretty flower.
Okay, well, Elaine, you crouch down next to Isoke and sort of put your tracking hat on. Yes. Despite the wetness, it looks like the foliage here has actually helped by protecting the tracks and so on from the rain. The mud is thick and dark anyway, but when you pick some of it up and sort of rub your fingers through it and get it wetter again, it turns red, so blood was spilt here. As to signs of battle, you find a couple of shattered spears of fairly primitive design. So they're not particularly straight halves, and they're capped with large pointed teeth rather than flint or metal. So there was definitely a fight here, and with Isoke's help, you're fairly certain that the larger, heavier party with the bare feet that end in 3 sharp clawed toes went that way.
There was a battle here. It seems they went this way. I point.
We should go that way.
Less and less likely that they're just fellas dressed up there.
If they're dressed up, they've gone as far as making special shoes.
Oh no, we're dealing with cosplayers.
A tribe of furries deep in the jungles of Mungoda.
No!
A fate worse than death, yiffing.
Furries as lizard men, whatever next.
Sorry, not furries, scalies.
I believe next is Chewbacca.
Okay,
There's
so you succeeded, so you can track them. Right.
Yeah, I lead party.
Anyone who didn't strip down their armor, make a strength roll again.
Me. 1! Hooray!
Did anyone fail?
I do have armor on, so I would take that off too. It's a gamison.
Okay. So everyone's all right?
Yep.
Okay. It's still a slog, especially as it's gotten into the afternoon now. So you've hit the midday period, and it's absolutely baking. There's so much steam coming off the water; it's almost like mist and fog everywhere. But it's hot, and it just seems to seep through and soak right through your clothing, and makes your clothes hang off you heavy with the wetness, mingling with your own sweat. A lot more lizards seem to be out, lizards and snakes, feasting on the insects. You give the snakes a wide berth just in case. You do stop again for some water now that you've sort of learnt exactly how much you need to drink. And as you're stopping for a drink, Caesura,
See?
you're taking a draught of water from your water skin, which you just refilled from the kegs, when something heavy and warm lands on your head with a splat.
Okay. I'll put my hand to where it actually landed on my head.
It squishes between your fingers and feels very warm and hot.
Bring it down and look at it in my face.
Your hand is covered in shit.
Okay. Okay.
What's the bird equivalent of a furry? Okay. It's a good job I've got my hood up. Oh, I think the locals don't like us.
There's a thump and a sort of slightly green furred monkey with a very long tail lands on the back of the mule the mule startles and starts to run off through the jungle with a monkey clinging on it for dear life.
Oh, it has our water. After it.
How far away is it?
Run
Okay.
I'll run after the mule.
to the mule.
Can any of you run as fast as a mule?
Well, depends how far
Probably not.
Probably not. But it's running in a blind panic through a swamp, and you're intelligent beings, so...
What I could do is that is a bad thing, right?
Yes,
Tangle root.
that's a very good idea. Okay. Right, spend the requisite magic points. Is it a second rank spell?
It's a second rank spell.
Okay. Sorcerer spells.
Speed of 14, isn't it?
It says
Tangle roots.
15 range meat, expires on a roll of 20, speed 14, or immobilized for 2d4 rounds, strength 16.
Yeah. Okay, so the mule is running off, braying in a panic, with this monkey clinging onto it, chittering away. You all sort of immediately spring after it. It's got our water. And you make a quick gesture, mumble the incantation, and a bunch of vines reach out from the surrounding trees and tangle around the mule, which doesn't do a lot for its attitude or fearful nature, but does bring it up short. In fact, it stops it so quickly that the monkey is flung off its back into the swamp. And the mule is just kind of suspended in midair like a fly in a spider web.
I'll try and calm it while this goes off.
I'm gonna kill me a monkey.
Oh dear.
Don't you think he's been punished enough?
Oh,
This is food.
who's not? What?
Bush meat. Bush meat.
The monkey
Oh, I tell you,
The monkey's thrashing in the water. It can't seem to stay afloat.
Oh, yeah, they can't.
That's what gators are for.
Sword.
Yeah, so I'll calm the mule so it doesn't injure itself thrashing about or anything like that.
Yeah. Have you got any animal handling skill or just
Probably
relying on
not.
your...
Probably not. I'm just nice people, I think.
yeah, looks.
Or at least I can fake it.
Yeah. You can give it some boiled sweets or something out of your rations and chill it out and get it down from the vines.
Yeah.
So Elaine, yeah, this monkey is thrashing in the water in front of you. Do you want to thrust a blade into it, or just let it drown, or do you want to rescue
Dead
it?
monkey.
Oh, rescue
Stop.
the monkey and maybe I'll make a friend.
Okay, go for it.
We've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, that monkey is dead.
Yeah, what'd you roll?
2.
Okay. You step down into the water and drive your blade through the monkey. He gives one last prolonged shriek and dies on your blade. Staining
Filthy
the
beast.
water red.
Why can't you do that to other creatures?
Are you saying he misses everything except for monkeys?
Yeah.
Monkey
Yep.
Slayer.
Clearly your
Just go-
sword is of monkey bane.
Pick it up.
Limited use, but okay.
Monkey
You have a
scat
wet,
monkey
very
pizza.
wet, dead monkey.
Toss
You shall name it
it
Spanker.
Was it?
toss it to our guide.
Yeah.
Say, perhaps you could make some use of that. Cook us up some food.
Monkey see, monkey can, monkey do.
Okay. Yeah. So he finds one of the nearer sort of islands. Skins the monkey with expert speed, though you're hearing a lot of hooting and angry monkey noises coming from all the trees around now.
Oh, you've made a lot of friends there, Sterling.
You see what we've done to your friend? We can do it to you as well. Keep your distance.
I have a,
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I doubt they're going to understand you.
No, but you've got a point. If that was put on a stick or a staff, would that act as a scaring off?
A ward versus monkeys.
Well,
I have a feeling they would be that might get their ire.
well, they're pretty kind of pissed off now, mate.
Right. He cuts the larger bits of muscle from the monkey, dices them up with a sharp piece of flint, and soaks them in the juices of a fruit, and then straps that to the side of the mule and makes a sort of gesture with his hands, or opening his fist once and then closing it.
Opening, closing.
One day marinade. Yeah.
I don't know what this means.
It means boobies.
No, that's two, not one.
Yeah,
Not if you're dating an Amazon.
yeah I was going to say.
Or in our case, James, a Black Beauty.
Yeah, true. Same thing.
We play well. Nice.
Right.
Just press on.
Yes, the monkeys continue to follow along after you, sort of hooting and occasionally throwing poop, but they do keep their distance.
Hoods up.
Right. The land is becoming a lot more dry now, and the trees are growing a lot taller. There's a lot of leaf litter, but it's much less swampy. It's much easier going now.
I'll make a point of staying with the mule and just being frank, just calming it as we go along, not just.
Yeah, it keeps nuzzling against you, and sort of clearly wonders whether you've got any more sweets.
I might be persuaded to.
First meal to get tooth decay. Can you all make perception rolls, please?
They haven't invented polos yet, have they? They haven't invented polos yet.
No.
I got 3, James.
Okay. Did anyone else succeed?
I got a natural one.
Nice.
I found another pretty flower.
I've got a funny scratch in a funny place. It could be a leech.
Or a
Could be a thing.
monkey.
Oh, a monkey.
Okay, so
Monkey.
those of you who succeeded, you think something is standing in the brush just over there, watching you.
It's not
Without-
Tarzan.
Without clocking it, I'll do a little song, a snatch of a song about being watched. Something that a native wouldn't understand the words for,
Yes.
but it doesn't sound like, oh, look over there. Really watch where
Yes, there is. Please don't look or he'll attack us now, but there's a friend or foe that may
I
not
always
know.
feel like somebody's watching me. 'Cause
Okay.
I-
Well, with that piece of subterfuge done, you're all aware of it and can all notice it. There is what appears to be a roughly human shape, clinging to the shadows, half hidden in the brush, watching you.
I shall nonchalantly ready a javelin in slowly.
So you pull it out and use it to scratch that itch on your back.
Yeah.
I'll probably do the same with my bow,
Okay.
seeing as I've never used that before.
Whoever or whatever it is, they don't seem to be reacting.
We are cunning.
How tall does it look, James?
6 foot, 6.5 foot.
So it is Tarzan then.
If one of you
As
doesn't do something, I'm going to call out to it.
I'll start to put my gambus in that.
Okay, take it off the mule. And...
All right. I'm gonna sort of draw my bow
Yeah.
and just
I'll
yell
keep
out,
you between me and it.
"You there! Show yourself!"
There is no reaction.
Come on, out from the shadows!
Still nothing.
Zora, why don't you check around, see what it is? I'll keep my bow trained on it.
Okay, I'll go around the back, see if I can find a way to the back of it.
Roll your stealth.
Okie dokie, D20. Drum roll, please.
He was hiding behind us, but then he's disappeared.
3. Okay. Yeah, you creep around. You're pretty sure you haven't been noticed. You come up behind this thing. Again, all you can really see at the moment without really closing in on it is this tall, shadowy shape sort of enclosed in the brush and the vines.
Does it look like a tree person, or is it just humanoid?
All you can really make out at the moment is a vaguely humanoid shape. Do you want to go closer?
How far away from am I?
You're about 10 meters back.
Okay. Does it seem to be alone?
You haven't noticed anything else.
What would I need except for a bloody miracle to sneak up behind it and crush it one?
A good stealth roll.
Okay. Fingers crossed, guys. I'm not looking here. I'm not looking. Oh! 7.
Okay. You come right up behind it and then spring forward and smack your hilt of your dagger or whatever into its back. As you perform the attack, you realise it's a corpse stuck onto a stick. It's dried out in the heat. Seems to be a human body. The skin's all drawn tight, similar to your own face, since you were cursed. But it's also looks like it's been gutted and stuffed with dry grass. And there's a whole bunch of skulls and bones and totems and things all hung on it.
Does it look like it's been sacrificed?
Possibly. Maybe this is meant to be a warning of some kind.
It's a scarecrow, isn't it?
Similar.
Monkey on the stick. I said it works.
Okay, I'll back away from it and say, look at our guide as if to say, pray tell.
He tries to figure out how to speak to you to explain anything and can't really. He just points at that, nods, and makes a sort of biting teeth gesture with his hands in front of his face.
Yeah. Here be lizard men. Let's continue. Right, shall we arm up?
Apparently, whatever these lizard men are intelligent enough to put a warning up.
They're intelligent enough to create tools and weapons as well. I told you that, didn't I?
How old is this swordsuit, James, roughly?
You don't really know. I mean, you've got your assassin's training, but this climate and everything, who knows?
I'll pad him down, check if he's got anything off. You saw them before we leave him.
No, just these sort of bones and feathers and things strung on him.
Just leave him.
Yeah.
Right, I think if you intend to fight, I think we should put our armor back on. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. It's okay. Sort of shakes his head like, no, I'm not coming with you, and stands next to the mule.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right,
I'm
so
just gonna point at the ground and say, "Stay here. We go. Come back. You stay."
He nods.
It's a genius, isn't he? Yeah. Right, so let's drink some water. Tool up.
Yeah, put your armor back on.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, and then Ahsoka points you in the right direction, and away you go. So, at this point, it's getting towards evenings. The sun's beginning to set. The shadows are getting longer. The heat is starting to go away again. The ground rises as you follow the path Ahsoka set out, and becomes steadily drier until you've left the muddy swamp far behind. You find yourself walking more and more through the forest and less through the swamps and bogs. You have to hack past huge nets of creepers at times, but at last you're no longer plagued by the stench of the marsh or the incessant mosquitoes. You step into a clearing so abruptly that you almost stride straight into it without realizing, though that probably would have been a mistake. There's a good dozen huts here, and you can make out large lizard-like figures moving about between the huts. Bulky warriors, some that you take to be perhaps females that are slightly smaller, and younger ones making sort of high-pitched peeping noises. There even seem to be nests outside the front of some of the huts with big leathery eggs in them. You also espy Subutai and his expedition, who somehow seem to have got here before you and seem to be engaged in some kind of negotiation or powwow with the lizardmen. More interesting, however, is that these huts that they've built are partially made of stone, and you haven't seen a great deal of useful stone in the vicinity. You realise that they seem to have been mining this stone from what you first took to be a grassy hillock against which they've built their huts. But the more you look at it, the more you realise that where it's less covered in leaf litter and dirt and muck, it's actually an ancient stepped pyramid, half hidden under the soil and vegetation.
There's our prophet, boys.
There's rivals.
Someone's bribed their way in first.
So they were here to do business with the lizardmen.
While they're discussing things, would it be possible for us to take advantage of that distraction and sneak in ahead of them?
You can try, but you'll have to sneak past an entire village of lizardmen and...
Oh, we can't go around.
You can, but yeah, even though they'll be distracted, it's a long shot. You can try it.
And I'm not very good at sneaking.
Yeah, so possibly two of us might be able to angle it. But... Yeah, there's a thought. Are the Kitans, do they seem to be acting, using my people reading skill, are they acting from a position of strength, or are they entreating them? Have they sort of been rumbled and they're trying to wangle their way out of getting jumped on by loads of...
roll d20 against your perception.
Come on. 6.
So success?
3. With the bonus.
So the Kitai seemed kind of disgusted to be doing so, but they are negotiating in reasonably good faith, you think? I mean, they treated you with contempt and considered themselves your betters, and they acted even worse towards the natives, and they are acting even more hoity-toity towards these primitive lizardmen.
The walking handbags.
Yeah.
Boots.
The Scalies.
Okay,
The Scalies.
I'll pass this information on. It looks like, yeah, they're going to bribe their way on or sort it out. I don't think they're going to lose this negotiation without assistance.
Do we hear what they're actually saying to the Scalies, James?
You don't speak either the Kitai language nor the language of the lizardmen, so no. You can get the general tone, which is just that they don't respect each other at all.
Is there a lot of hissing and snapping?
Yes.
What is Subutai using to trade or bribe with?
You can't necessarily see that he's offering any goods at the moment, but there are, boxes and crates and things around.
See if we can figure out what they find out was valuable and make a counter offer.
So, how tough do these? How tough do these Draco men look?
They're kind of like you took an alligator and and set it on its hind legs. Really, the tails are a lot shorter and they're not as big and bulky, but they do look very muscular and tough. Thick hides.
Yeah, that's why they couldn't. The flint spears wouldn't work.
Yeah, not enough penetration.
Well, we were sent here to dispatch with these lizard men, and now our rivals seem to be making a deal with the lizard men, which make them our enemy.
Well, hold that thought. Why do you think Subutai is here?
Perhaps to barter their way into the temple.
Yes, and take all the gold from the temple. I don't think Subutai would care if the Draco men were alive or dead. He just wants the gold from the temple. So do we, don't we? We want that gold.
Indeed, but
So our enemy's enemy could be our friend.
or they could both be our enemies, and I say we should at least find a way to make them bow against one another. If we could disrupt this tense meeting in such a way that things go sour, that both parties could weaken one another.
Yeah, but the only problem is that if we interrupt this discussion, we could actually face both parties at the same time, and we're only a small number compared to them lot.
No, we have to join with one side against the other.
I would rather join the lizards.
No.
Is there a way of, I don't know, either a disguise or some sort of illusory magic?
There's illusion magic, which would make a useful distraction.
I know this full well, but I was asking the characters that might have it. To maybe have someone seemingly from one side act or do something that might upset negotiations with no risk to ourselves, ideally.
I could make a simple illusion.
Oh, yeah.
What
How
to
many?
do-
Sorry, Brian.
Oh, I was just saying what to do with it. I mean, it can only be of one thing. It cannot be of one thing affecting another thing.
Do you think you would be able to create an illusion of one of their soldiers?
Possibly doing what? Attacking something?
Perhaps aiming a bow at the lizard man they are speaking to.
Or one of the children? Or
And
Can
then,
we see? Can we see them clearly? Like they're out in the open?
Yeah, they're engaged in their negotiation in front of the largest hut, which is probably the chieftain's hut.
How many?
But it's
how many
inside the hut.
Fighters can I see?
Outside the front of it. Looking around, the chieftain looks like a warrior type.
And then, what's his name? Sizora. You are quite skilled with a bow, are you not?
Full shot.
So, taking a quick look over the village, you reckon there's about 8 warriors, including the chieftain, that are immediately visible. There's about twice as many females, and about 4 times as many children, but the children don't seem to be too much of a threat.
How long is this from one side to the other side of the huts?
And the huts aren't big; they're clearly sort of just used as night shelter.
Yeah, so from one side of the clearing to the other side of the clearing.
Yeah.
Well then,
The whole settlement is maybe 50 to 100 meters across, maximum. So not big.
I'm just thinking that judging by Super Toy's reaction so far. We are, well, from his perspective, we're above the Draco men on a social scale. They are at the bottom of the pile. So if we are like, and I'm sure if we just ambushed the Draco men right now, Subutai would not care less.
Or
we don't know that. Or he would join them against us.
Why would he do that? No, listen to yourself. Right? They're just creatures. They're just creatures to him. He just wants the gold in the temple, doesn't he?
Maybe.
Either way, that might weaken us. And
we don't want to fight the lizardmen. Make Subutai fight them for us, and then we can step in to take out who remains.
But he's negotiating with them.
Is the leader's hut in the center of the town?
Yeah.
Not town.
Village, whatever. So you got the pyramid, then the chief's hut seems to be set right in front of the pyramid, and then all the other huts come out in a sort of double crescent either side.
So yeah, that's my plan. So
how many Khitans are there apart from the two?
So, not counting the sort of spear carriers and sort of dogs' bodies, the ones who are potentially a problem are Subutai, his main sort of bodyguard, man at arms, whatever, and 3 other soldiers. There's 5 of them.
So yeah, that's my plan. Get Caradan to create an illusion of a bowman to fire an illusionary shot towards the main lizardman guy, and then Caesora to fire an actual arrow from a stealthy position, because he's a stealthy man, to actually hit the lizardman. And the lizard people will probably think, oh no, they're attacking us, we should attack them. And then they fight, and then we just step in and slice down who remains.
So you won't stand on the grassy knoll?
Maybe we could jump in just in the nick of time to save Subutai. And he will be grateful to us.
I see a problem in this.
I think he would hate feeling obligated to barbarians.
And if the leader is inside of a hut, getting an arrow to hit the leader would be
they're outside the hut, outside the front of the hut.
Oh, never mind. But they are. He said it's 100 meters across.
Yeah, maximum.
That means if they're in the middle, that's 50 meters apart. At best, I can put an image at 20 meters. So therefore, where Subutai's men are would have to be close. So that means it would look more like it came from us than them.
Yeah, but they don't know we're here.
Right.
That's how the plan works.
Yeah, you can circle the edge of the clearing, and you can create the illusion sort of 20 meters across that way, which will be close to them, and they won't be sort of directly looking towards you.
We could do that if we can get closer. Yes. Well, we can make someone who's dressed like Subutai, not dressed like us. Another one of those demon masked.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you can see him, so you can easily replicate his appearance.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's move around and then get that done.
Okay, so
that way we'll get to 20 meters.
So the main body of you staying in position, then Caradan's moving around slightly to get the illusion in the right position, and Caesora's going the other way to set up an ambush with his crossbow. Is that right?
If everybody wants to do that.
Who am I aiming for? Quickly, who am I aiming for?
The leader.
The leader that Supertan's speaking to.
The chieftain.
Or Subutai.
You want me to hit the lizard man? Fair enough.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
If everyone's cool with that, I don't know.
One with least risk to ourselves would be what we're after.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So with everyone in position, spend the magic point for the illusion.
It's only level 1, so okay.
So 1 magic point. I don't think you have to make a new roll or anything for that. Okay. So
I'm going to make an armored guy with a bow.
Yeah.
Like come out
Crossbow.
of one of the buildings, just crossbow, sure. Come out of one of the huts in the same armor and just kind of fire right on the
Yeah.
on the leader.
So you will see this. This armored figure steps out from the shade of the hut, raises crossbow, and fires towards the chieftain. That is the cue for Cesora to fire his crossbow. So can you make a straight attack roll? Take 2 away from your attack and roll.
Oh, this is going to hurt. 3.
3. Okay. Roll to penetrate armor.
That would be
The first die number.
9.
9. Okay, and then roll damage.
8.
Okay.
Oof.
Right.
Yeah,
That was your last bolt.
Yep,
Right.
the last crossbow bolt.
Yeah. So you shoulder the crossbow, fire the bolt, and it flies true into the middle of the negotiations and pierces the leathery skin of the chieftain, ramming through his chest right to the feathers. He roars and stands up and flips the low table that they were negotiating on. And all hell breaks loose.
And then we hide.
Just let me know when you want to interfere. I'm assuming you're just going to hold back for the time being.
Yes. Wait until it seems like a appropriate time to jump out.
Yeah. Okay. The bodyguard in the devil face armor draws his sword and short sword and strikes immediately for the chieftain as well. Right. His sharp blade smacks into the chieftain's shoulder, but doesn't seem to cut through as cleanly as he was expecting. So it's kind of like driving a blade into a lump. And he sort of looks at it, slightly confused. Right. His 3 men draw their weapons and leap to the attack as well. Also striking for the chieftain.
What we were not aware of is that they were setting up an ambush to attack him at this point. They were all ready. That's the sign. Go.
Right. So the 3 men leap to their friend's side, and all hack at the chieftain. And while one of their blades sort of rebounds off some of his thick skin, the other 2 manage to cleave into him, and one does a rather impressive sort of side swipe across his belly, opening it up, spilling green, steaming intestines onto the ground. The chieftain is dead, which seems to have outraged the others even more.
Nice technique, that Slash. See that? That's cool.
The lizard men leap to return the attack. They can't get to Subutai, who's kind of moved back into the pack of men who are kind of loosely surrounding him. So they try and carve their way through the heavily armoured knight. So, let's see.
Does the demon guy look like he's carrying a can on a Wakasaki, James?
Yeah.
Thought so. Bloody samurai.
Nice. Yeah, but
if he dies, I want his mask.
That's a nice looking sword, isn't it?
We've
never seen those before, have we?
No.
You can have the swords. I just want the mask.
It was the katana.
I'm just gonna reset my connection.
Okay.
We've made it bad for the DM. He has to fight himself.
I know.
you get used to James flipping them.
Well,
You just see his dice rolling onto the table.
This could be a plan of Jack that actually works. This is quite a rare evening.
To the assassin, would it be worth us maybe sneaking up and being ready to take out Subutai?
I was saying the same thing.
I could try that. Yeah.
Hopefully not having to, but being ready
No,
to
assassinate him while his guys are busy with the warriors.
I could try that. Yeah. Those who know. Cost you extra though.
Well, I'm going to go with
Right.
you.
So the guy in the demon mask parries one of these wooden axes, like cleaving it off at the handle and taking one of the guy's fingers with it. Drives an elbow into the snout of another one, but another two are coming at him. One of them drives his axe right into his gut, so cracking through the hardened leather of the armor, and another one bites onto his leg. So he's kind of being borne down and back by these gator men, and that leaves.
How many warriors are there?
Oh, the gator men warriors.
Mm-hmm.
You took out the chieftains. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left.
I think you'll find the Kitans took out the chieftain.
Well, yeah. Miss. Hit. Miss. So that's a hit.
How far away?
Penetrates armor. 2 health. So that's 14. Sorry about this, but your plan is working. Take some consolation from that.
In both directions, everybody's taking damage.
Well, yeah, and I'd rather play it out than just flange it. So
They're watching people playing with themselves.
it's what the internet's for.
Just offhand, that ring of the wraith wind, it starts that wind right where you're at, right?
Yeah, and then pushes forward.
Okay.
Okay, so
Only take 20 rounds.
the other warriors, they have slightly different gear to the guy in the devil mask. Sort of shorter, tasseled, bladed swords. So yeah, they're sort of fencing back and forth with the lizard men, trying to keep them all back from Subutai. But they're clearly taking a buffeting from these large primitive foes. Then it's Subutai's go. Let's see.
I think we really want to see what he can do, can't we? This Subutai fella. What is he about? Is he a priest? Is he a mage? What is he?
Well, you're about to get some clue.
He's a fucking cleric.
Heal all. Oh shit! He's like 5th or 6th level. No.
That would be the worst.
He's a fucking demon cleric.
He's a demon. That would not be good.
Right. Right. So Subutai sort of moves back behind the knights and leaps up into the air, making a complicated finger gesture with his hands, and points to the earth just behind all the lizard men. There is an enormous blast of fire that seems to engulf most, if not all of them.
Feel like chicken tonight.
Probably smell like chicken. So let's hit.
Oh, can you do that, Caradan? You can't do that, can you?
I can do Dragon Breath, which is different. It starts at me, goes forward 12 speed. I don't know what that is. But it says 20 meters, so I don't know if that's what he just did.
That's
it says 20
breath,
meters.
is it?
That's not what he just did.
No.
I need to find the book if I'm going to go look that up. What's the name of this game?
Dragon Warriors.
They did put out a free PDF a while ago. I don't know if that's still up.
There's one on the Trove. I just had to remember what it was.
Naughty.
Oh, it's all zip filed now. What do you mean naughty?
I mean naughty. I publish, can't be condoning that sort of thing.
Grim cannot support piracy.
The actual book.
No, I call it playtesting. If you like it, then you buy it.
All right.
Playtesting.
Brief aside to the game. I've actually done quite well out of people's piracy. I think for small publishers, it's actually a good way of getting seen, and as long as you're not a dick about it, people are quite likely to back you up and buy your stuff. So it's a complicated issue.
With my Shadowrun stuff, I'll always look at the PDF first, see if it's
Worth
something
money.
I want to get.
Yep.
That's always what I've said, that it's like you can't say that it's good and endorse it, but maybe look the other way.
What I used to do was in my books, I put a paragraph just saying, look, if you pirated this, I understand, but if you feel so inclined, I could use the money, and I'm not some big company or something.
Yeah, it's always a preview. Books are best.
Yeah.
I do tend to buy. Ooh, shit. I do tend to buy the books that I get. I've got one of Grimm's books, the
Yay.
actual fucking monsters.
Right, so there is this huge engulfing blast of fire which tosses lizard men bodies in all directions, and when you sort of blink away the lights in front of your eyes and look back, there is only one lizard man still standing.
Oh, poop.
So, do you want to intercede, or do you want to leave them fighting for now?
You said there's only one.
Wait a second. They've not lost a single man, have they?
Not yet. 3 of them are injured.
I think we best stay back. Jumping in now, we're not going to be the hero. And if it does lead to a fight, it'll be 5 against 5.
Okay.
Not the odds I like.
No.
Have we lost the assassin? I can't see.
You dropped out, I think.
Okay. Hopefully
Yeah,
he'll message me.
He's off.
Hopefully he'll message me or something if he's having trouble getting back on. I'll try re-inviting him, see if that works. Right. So you're still not laying in, you're just watching the horrors unfold.
Well, if nothing else, he's burning through magic points he won't use on us. So.
Yes, this is true.
Yep. Can I gauge about how strong that spell is?
Yeah, it's a 9th level spell.
Oh!
Well, a 9th rank spell. I think it's called Fire Blast or something like that.
Firestorm.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah,
Ouch.
still, he's got more magic points than we want to care to deal with.
Yeah. So the Demon Masked Knight sort of hacks at this steaming, smouldering lizard man who seems to be in shock and sort of insensible to the blows that are being struck against him. His warriors also strike. Surrounding him and trying to bring him down. Alright, and between them they bring down the last Draco Man. Just sort of hacking at his smouldering body until he drops.
I was really hoping they had done more.
The remaining lizard people are fleeing for the woods, gathering up their eggs and running as fast as they can.
Well, that's our job done.
What, gauging the enemy and realizing, oh shit, he's powerful.
Well, they weren't our enemy. We were sent here to dispatch the lizard man.
Subutai
true that.
Subutai points towards the illusory warrior and starts ranting in Catan to his compatriots.
You dispelled. I thought you would have dispelled that.
I didn't hear anyone say they dispelled it.
Oh,
I wasn't even sure I could. So in the game, it doesn't say anything about dispelling, does it?
You've got a couple of things. You've got your spell expiry roll, which
hasn't happened so far. Dispel magic, or you can just stop the effect, but you didn't.
Oh, well, shit. Oh, all right. Sorry.
And if it's a higher ranking spell, where if you terminate it before it runs out, you get some magic points back. So it can be worth doing, but not for a first rank one usually.
No.
Better do something clever, otherwise he's going to realize the ruse.
Actually, here's the question: did any of the lizard men try to attack the illusion? It would have disappeared immediately.
Yep.
So did they try to attack the guy with the
people with the swords and stuff right next to them were considered to be a bigger problem?
Oh, well then it disappeared. I mean, it's gone.
Well, no, make it walk away.
Oh, make it walk away, or that's it. I
can't tell you what to do.
It'll salute them and then walk back into the hut. That'll work. Let's just do that since I left it up anyway.
Just a sec.
Salute, bow, like they did.
Looks like Caesora's internet dropped. He's just mailed me from his mobile, so he'll be back if he can.
He could do it through his phone.
Well, yeah. Data costs pretty high.
Oh, right. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Right. So, what do you want to do? Are you still gonna just wait and watch and see what they do, or?
Yeah.
I was with the assassin.
Yeah.
So I'll make our way back to the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make the way back to the group.
Right. So he bitches them all out. Your illusion does eventually fade.
I'll be going stealthily just in case.
They keep their weapons drawn and they're sort of scanning the edge of the clearing where you are hiding, but it's now, the sun's properly setting, and you're in thick cover, so they don't seem to be able to see you.
So back with the group, I go, well, we were supposed to take out the lizard men. Did that include women and children?
I don't think so. Now we have to decide, do we want to venture into this temple?
Well, yes, I mean, you're right to carry on. I mean, a job done. We could go home. Job is done.
But, I'm quite tired of half doing jobs.
What do you mean? We were given an objective. We did it. We went home.
That's what Becca and I did. That's
well, I mean, the original job, was it just to take out the lizardmen warriors, or was it the lizardmen problem?
Well, it was just this encampment, I think.
It might have been just to move them on. It didn't necessarily entail killing, but
it's open to interpretation. But from your point of view, you think you've succeeded in driving them off. Without the warriors, they can't be too much of a threat.
Well, I'll say the spell that he cast. The spell he cast was well beyond most measures. He is powerful.
Yes, and none of his men died either in that battle.
Nope.
Although, perhaps if they are trying to venture inside that temple, temples do tend to be trapped with many enemies, Druga, and nasty things. Perhaps if we kept behind them and followed them,
they saw the illusion, so they will be here for a while.
Their numbers will drop, and then we'll see how.
What they seem to have settled on, while you're organising your plans, is that the 3 lesser warriors are remaining behind, and Subutai and his main bodyguard, who is quite badly injured, are heading towards the pyramid temple. So it
Much
looks
better
like
odds.
yeah. Subutai stops his bodyguard and sort of waves his hands over him a bit.
Oh, damn it.
Must be healing the damage that he's taken.
Yeah, and if he has that big a
Greater
spell,
healing does 7 for 3.
Yeah.
What do you
Others.
what do you think? 5 against 1 seems like more favorable odds. Should wait until Subutai and his main companion is some distance away, and then spring out an ambush.
Or we could be the Nazis in the Indiana Jones films. Just wait for them to do it and nibble them when they come out. Weakened, low on magic.
What's that you say? YouTube monetization?
All right. Damn it.
It's alright, this channel isn't monetized.
Bloody the internet drops just as swings get interesting.
Yeah.
The main guy, Subutai, obliterated them all with a big fireball. He seems to
remember
be some sort
that,
of
when my internet dropped. Jack.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty much that.
And that now they split up. Subutai and his main bodyguard are walking into the temple, and they've left 3 of the guards behind. And I think we should ambush them.
Right, did I have a chance to take Subutai down before he disappeared?
No.
Wait a minute.
He's really
He wasn't
strong.
here. He's a 9th circle spell.
Yeah, he's
You
really
could hit
strong.
him, and then you would die if he has some sort of a spell on him that protects him.
So discretion
They have
being
that here.
part of cowardice, we came up with a different plan.
It's not cowardice, it's tactics.
Take out all his followers and not him.
Yeah. So the entrance to the pyramid seems to be on the opposite side to where the lizardmen made their camp. Probably sort of superstition and worry. So you give Subutai and his bodyguard, time to get out of earshot and to be engaged with the temple. And so if you want to leap out and ambush these 3 remaining warriors, you can.
Yes.
Surprise attack.
Yeah. So basically you'll all get a free action. You won't be able to completely close the distance to them in 1 turn, though.
That's fine. A number of us have
We can take our time.
ranged
That
weapons.
Okay. So everyone ready?
Well,
Ready, motherfucker.
how far have the 2 main guys gone?
They've gone far enough that shouldn't be a problem. Okay. So ambush turn. So Elaine.
3. I think that's a hit.
Yeah, you firing your bow at one of them then?
Yes.
Yes. So they don't get their defense. It's a static difficulty. So yeah, that 3's going to be a hit, easy. Okay, roll to bypass armor.
Um. 5.
5. Okay, and damage.
7.
7 damage. Okay, so you string the arrow, pull back, and then move out of the underbrush. They sort of see you and start to react. And you fire with your bow, and it takes the guy through the arm. So the arrow's actually stuck through his armor in his arm, but he's still up. Cesora.
I am attacking. Which one did you attack, Jack? Left, right, or middle?
Left.
Right.
Always left, remember?
Oh, yeah, it's true. Always left.
Always
Yeah,
left. Yeah.
I go for the one in the middle.
Do you have any ranged weapons, or are you just going to close the distance?
I've not got any bolts left, so I may as well go in with my
Okay.
trusty blades.
So you go charging forward, roaring a battle
Yep.
cry, but you can't attack him yet. Next turn. Right.
Can you send my catch sheet again, James? Because I don't seem to have it. It disappeared.
Okay, it should be in the mail that I sent you. 1 sec, let me find it for you. All right, I'll email it to you again, yeah?
Cheers.
Okay, it's on its way.
Yeah.
Right, so... Becca's go.
Finally hit
Yeah, I'm going to rush out the tree line, throw a javelin
Hooray!
at the
Okay.
guy in the middle.
Yep, so take 2 away from your attack and roll.
Oh, 16. It was a hit. I am quality. I hit with a 16.
Okay, nice. Roll to bypass armor
7.
and damage.
8.
Which one were you going for?
Center.
Center.
Oh, we all hit different targets. That's
She's good.
terrible.
Yeah,
Right.
terrible.
So you
Focus fire, focus fire.
you run forward, hurl your javelin. It flies in a near perfect arc and stabs the guy clean through the side, almost pinning him to the dirt. He's still grimacing and squirming though, so he's clearly not dead quite yet. Okay, he's not there.
As if things that they were all wounded previously,
Yeah.
so one hit might take them out. You see, that's why I spread the love.
Right, Madrock.
I will try and finish that one that's just been skewered.
Do you have any ranged weapons?
Oh, only a dagger.
Do you want to hurl your dagger at him?
That would be the safe offering, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so take 2 away from your attack and roll.
That knocks it down to 9. A 4.
Okay.
Hey.
Now thrown daggers. They got different stats when they're thrown, don't they?
D3, isn't it?
I think so. I'm just trying to find it quick. Missile weapons. Thrown dagger. Yeah,
You hit something.
D3 to bypass armor.
6. So 3.
So 3. Yep. And
Okay,
D6 damage.
Nice. 3.
Okay, you hurl your blade at the guy who's just been struck with the javelin. And the blade pierces his neck. And he sort of gurgles and slides back down the javelin onto the floor.
Nice.
Caradon, the mage.
I'm not going to throw my dagger, and I don't have any other ranged weapon. Going to save spells for now.
Okay, so you're just
So,
going to move forward ready to cast or do something? Or are you going to hang back?
Sticking with the big armored knighty guy.
Okay. So you stick alongside Sir Elaine. Ready. Yep. Okay, so that's the ambush turn over.
Hold my sword.
I'll slap you across the head. What are you doing? Get in there. We need all people to attack.
Right.
All right, move forward with my sword. Yeah.
Okay. Sir Elaine's go.
Yeah, now that I've given the...
If others are already
Wait,
going.
can I can draw a bow... Yeah, just fire my bow again, yeah?
Yeah, you can fire again straight away. You don't have to
Why not?
reload.
Why not?
It's
Go
not.
for it.
It's not it.
So,
Yeah, I normally am the person who just runs up. 9.
is that a hit? Must be.
I think so. I mean,
What's your attack?
my attack is 15. I think it's 17.
So, -2 be 15. So, yeah, that's a hit. Roll to bypass armor.
3.
3. Okay. That's enough because they're wearing stripped down armor. And roll damage. Which one were you going for?
The same one again.
Okay. So the leftmost one. Yeah, roll
4.
damage. 4 damage. Okay. The arrow hits, but glances off at his shoulder, but you definitely drew blood. Right. Suzora, you're now into close combat range.
Okie dokie. I will scream at him in my new tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Down.
What, the pheromone?
Yeah,
Puta madre!
yeah. La morte.
Okay, take 10 away from your attack and roll.
2.
Is that still a hit?
Yes.
Okay, roll to bypass armor
9.
and roll damage.
5.
Okay, so you scream at him in some strange barbaric tongue as far as he's concerned. He strives to defend himself, but finding himself under attack after everything just went down, he fails to react in time. And you strike him a good doughty blow on the upper hip.
Did the guy with the demon mask go down, or is he gone into the temple?
He's gone into the temple.
Gone to the temple.
Right.
Oh, I want that mask.
Right, Becca, another javelin, or? You're muted.
Sorry, thanks. I'm gonna draw my claymore and prepare to attack next turn.
Yeah, so you draw that and move in. Ready. You alright there? Right, so they strike back. Who's actually in range at this point? Mostly Caesura. So they both attack Caesura. What's Caesura's defense, and how do you want to split it?
Which is the most injured?
The most injured one is the middle guy. Well, there's only 2 left now, so the leftmost guy.
Okay, 3 on the one. 3 on the one who's most wounded, and 4 on the other.
Okay.
So that's defense up to 7.
Yeah. Okay. You managed to parry, though he's making some very sort of elaborate moves. It's a bit confusing, really. And while you're busy warding him off, the other one manages to get a strike in on your back with his blade.
Okay.
What's your armor rating?
Armor factor 2.
2. Right, take 2 health of damage. It was only a glancing blow because you're all wheeling around and moving, and they're afraid of the others coming in.
Yep.
Okay, so Madrox go. You're muted. You're still muted.
I'm going to try and stealth in so that I'll get there maybe next turn.
Okay.
I think I can do it this round.
Yeah, so you creep around moving from hut to hut to getting closer.
Yeah.
They're occupied, so there's not really any chance of them noticing you. Okay, Karadan, you can either attack in melee or use a spell.
Let's go ahead and use melee. I've got the sword, +2 sword.
Yeah. They've got no defense points left, so just roll under your attack to hit.
All right, do I add that +2 to the or subtract it from my roll? Is that how that works?
You add it to your attack.
Add it to the attack and then roll below it.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So I rolled right on spot.
Okay, so that's
11
a hit.
+2, 13.
Right, so there's 2 dice after the weapon description. The first one you
D8.
roll to bypass armor, and then the second dice is the damage. So roll the
same
first
die.
one and tell me what you get.
All right, the first one is 5.
Okay, so that gets past his armor, and then roll the second dice for the damage.
The second die is 7.
Okay, so you come darting in from the side and drive the point of your blade into this guy's side. He cries out and drops, leaving just the one left. Right, so next turn. Sir Lane.
I'm going to aim this arrow straight at his neck.
Okay. Take 2 away from your attack and roll.
Is that because he's in range with
8.
the melee?
It's from being at range. What'd you get? Sorry, 8.
Yeah, 8. That's a hit.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so that's a hit. Roll to bypass armor.
6.
Okay, and damage.
6 again.
Okay. It doesn't hit him in the neck. You drop a little too low. Worried about hitting your friends in combat, but it does embed itself in his shoulder, piercing the armor. Okay. Caesura.
Is it the one who's left, the one who hit me on the back?
Yes.
spin rounds with reflexes of a cat
Mm-hmm.
and hack his head off.
Okay, go for it. So he hasn't had to defend himself yet this turn, so take 10 away from your attack.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna hurt. I'm not looking. 1.
Okay, and roll to bypass armor.
That will be 7.
Okay, and damage.
6.
6. Okay. You sort of twist and dance around him. He's trying to move to keep up with you, but he's too wounded and can't manage to keep up. And you manage to swing your blade in at the side and cleave his head off after a couple of extra hacks. Because you're not that strong.
I've got average.
Die!
strength,
Die! It said die!
No. There can be only one!
Right. You've dispatched them. So there's this big pile of equipment that they all brought with them. And then Subutai and his friend made their way to the temple.
Just 2 of them.
Yeah. I'm just gonna walk over to them on the floor dead and pull my arrows out of them and
Yeah. How many arrows did you use?
3.
Is that chest of scrolls here?
All 3 are recoverable. Yes, that big
Nice.
chest of scrolls is here.
And then
Might we open that?
Yep,
Pick
it's
up.
full of scrolls.
and then pick up one of their swords.
Yep. These guys didn't have the same style of sword as the bodyguard, but they are interesting nonetheless. They're broad-bladed, very well balanced, and have sort of red silk tassels on the handles.
Oh, yeah.
We shouldn't stick around and too long. We should move quickly.
How about a detect aura on everything they have, just to see if they have anything special?
There doesn't seem to be anything particularly magical here, apart from a rolled-up carpet that's in amongst the rest of their stash.
All right, hey, grab that carpet. It's got something magical about it.
Right. You can fetch it on the way back out.
It's
What
really
type
large.
of armor were they wearing, James?
Sorry?
What type of armor were they wearing?
It seems to be some sort of stiffened, lacquered leather of some kind.
Is it better or worse than my current armor, which is padded armor?
Their armor's been stripped down. It's probably equivalent to mail, but the stripped down armor that they're wearing has an armor factor of 2.
Ooh.
I need decent bloody armor. I'm not wearing bloody gimp gear all my life. God.
I might try to yoink some of that if there's stuff with not too many
Nico,
in it.
you'll have plenty of time to loot and carry everything off after you've dealt with the other 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah,
can
but
we
the
collapse the
my-
entrance of the temple?
One at a time. I can't hear you.
Could we collapse the entrance to the temple? Would that solve the problem?
It would technically solve the problem, though they could probably get back out, but then you wouldn't be able to loot the temple. So.
My
But
thought
you
was
could
to hide
fly.
the magical carpet in case they escape while we're inside and they can't find it because we put it inside the hut of one of these huts here. So I'd like to hide the magical carpet-looking thing.
Yeah.
Just leave it.
No, hide it so that if they leave, they can't take it.
Well, they're not going to leave.
Yeah, you say that. The guy cast a really expensive, a really powerful spell. Which
Okay,
is to say he
fine. Drag it
anyway,
and
out of here.
drag it and the bodies into the bushes. Then, but we should move quickly.
Yep, I am up.
Could we use the stuff they was wearing as a disguise? Is there any chance we'd be able to pass for one?
You're all a lot taller than them, and there's blood and arrows sticking out of it. So,
Or-
yeah.
Please, they're coming.
Before you said
Oscar dramatic pose. Thud.
Okay, so what's the plan then?
Chasing after them.
Okay.
Don't know what the others are doing.
I'll get my javelin back and give Madrock his dagger back.
thank you.
Can he get his crossbow bolt back?
There's some crossbows amongst their gear, so you can fill your case with a fresh set of 10 crossbow bolts if you want.
I'll grab 10 and then head off, Jim.
Yep. Okay.
I'll tackle a crossbow as well if I could.
Before I forget, I want to get a totem from the Draken men just to prove that we did the job.
Yeah. So cut off some claws or teeth or something.
Get the head of the chief. Get the head of the chief and back of the mule.
Not the whole head, no.
You might spook the mule as well. It's been through enough, poor thing.
Yeah.
Just put it in like a backpack or something. Just wrap it up, tightly fold it up.
Yep.
Wear it like a hat.
Onward we go.
Okay, so you approach the pyramid. The doorway to the place is already open and looks like it's been open for some time. There's weeds and things growing up around it in its new position. The corridor goes straight in for some distance, and there's various side rooms. Stone doors have been rolled aside from some of them, and it looks like they've been inexpertly looted, but there's a whole bunch of other chambers off this main corridor that haven't been opened yet and probably still have a bunch of useful stuff in them, or treasures to be taken away.
Using tracking, James, which way have they seem to have gone?
They seem to have gone straight forward, ignoring all these side chambers.
I think they're looking for something particular.
The side chambers can do for later on our return.
If we were-
They've been here before.
You don't think so? Someone's been here before, then.
we should make up for lost time.
I'll second that.
So at the end of this first corridor, it terminates in a set of steps that lead down into the depths of the pyramid. And you can hear sounds echoing out from down there. So you think that must be where they went.
Should keep what's the word? Keep quiet and trail them. Maybe Cesora. I seem to be calling on you more often in this campaign, but you were to keep a few paces ahead, so you are quieter on your feet.
Load my crossbow up, James, and stealthily go down the stairs and stick them through the shadows.
Okay.
Stealthy.
So you move ahead of the others and start down the steps.
Yep.
There are torches every few meters down, glowing with a slightly unearthly light, and the walls are covered with crudely carved hieroglyphics. As you go down, you start to feel sickened and weak, so lose a health point.
So that's me down to 9. It's just a flesh wound.
Do you wish to keep going?
Curiosity killed the assassin. Why not?
Okay, you carry on lower, and the deeper you go, the sicker you feel, like the life force is being drained out of you. Lose another health point.
Do I know where it's actually coming from? This
just all around you. It seems to be some kind of curse or protection laid upon the pyramid.
Oh, the weapons weren't poisoned or anything. It's not a...
No. The rest of you are following, but behind a bit, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you all lose a health point, and the magic user doesn't lose health, but loses a magic point.
How far down does it seem?
I back up. I back up and say...
It goes down quite a long way. The rate at which you're feeling sick, you think by the time you reach the bottom, you'll have lost Well, what's your normal health points?
12.
So you'll have lost 6. Basically, regardless of what your current wound level is, you'll lose half of your original health level by the time you reach the bottom.
Oof.
Yeah, let's
And
no
see
go.
this, see this light trance meditation that says 1 day to regain 1d8 HP.
Yep.
Can I do that at any time?
Yeah, but it takes you a day.
Oh,
We should not venture forth. We should
I-
stay out of that area.
I feel sick to my stomach.
right,
They
yeah.
have magics to protect them. We should not go.
Why
Let
do we
us stay to
peskin
the
them?
top.
Why do we peskin them when they come back up? How's that sound?
Sounds better. Let's check out these rooms while we're waiting.
I'm up for
I was
that.
about to ask Karadin, can you sense anything?
I could try casting it. Well, I don't know. Is that spell still on me from the detect aura from earlier?
No, that's almost certainly faded by now. You have to recast it.
I am running low in magic, but if you wish, I can try.
Oh wait, I was thinking about Brother Abbas. He's the one.
Alas, he's not with you.
Yeah, he's the guy who can sense things.
Yeah.
Um,
At best, I can check for magic auras.
what about this? These hieroglyphics.
You can examine them. So, Keridon, roll under your intelligence on a d20. Well, equal to or under your intelligence on a d20.
12 out of 13.
Okay, so a lot of hieroglyphics from the ancient Mungodan civilizations are used in the continental magic and so on as like a code language. It's not exactly the same, but you think from what you can read that this pyramid is the burial place of some sort of outcast priest or prince or king, something like that.
Immortal.
Mumra.
The curse seems to be innate to the whole building, so you'd have to demolish it to lift the curse, or have extremely powerful dispelling, which you don't really have access to.
I don't have access to that.
Roll under your psychic talent on a d20.
Oh, under 16. That's a good number. 2.
Yay.
Right. Now, the way it's set up is to drain magic or life force, but it will drain magic first. So you think if you could cast some kind of spell on the others, then they wouldn't lose health as they went deeper. Though you would still lose your magic points that you hadn't already cast. So you could essentially protect them from the effect by laying some kind of enchantment on them.
And I don't believe I have that either.
Anything you've got that would enhance them would count.
Really? I have warding, but that's only on one person, right?
Yeah, so you'd have to cast it on each person. How many spell points have you got?
3.
Yeah,
Not
I think
enough.
warding second, isn't it?
I could maybe cast it on one as he goes down to check. He's probably still down halfway. He's too far ahead.
Moon glow might work, and that's a radius spell. So provided you all cramped in together, that might provide protection.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's one that'll take one of the magic spell, and then as you said, 2 rounds in, I'd lose all my other magic, and in 10 minutes we're at the bottom, losing health, right?
Well, you think it will only affect your health as you're descending. So if you cast Moonglow and you cram everyone together, you should be able to get down to the bottom. They won't be hurt, though you will lose the rest of your unspent magic points.
Right, but if we're at the bottom and then to get back out, we're going to lose, or we might even lose it while we're at the bottom.
It shouldn't hurt you once you're down at the bottom or on the way out. You think, you're fairly certain.
Staying on the same level is going to maintain, is what you're saying. It
won't get worse. You won't lose any more magic or health from staying on the same level.
I guess I'll give up my last 2 spell points. If we will, I'll mention that. Say I'll be out of magic if we get down to the bottom, but I might be able to protect us. What do y'all say? Y'all want to keep going?
Well, I'm quite useless without my ability to fight. As is
What
Becca.
about items with the durational effect?
Such as?
There was talk of a ring earlier that had something, a wind or something.
No, that starts a wind. It goes 20 meters.
Yeah.
1 meter per round. It's a very slow wind, and that wind does damage to everything it comes in contact with.
Yeah, and it still uses magic points or health.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't realize that. Gotcha.
Although I do have a potion.
Do you?
Well, technically, I think we have an extra potion too. But yeah, it's just a healing potion though. So I think let me double check this.
Oh
no,
no,
there's a slumber potion.
You have an elixir vitae.
Elixir vitae, yeah.
That wakes somebody up.
Yeah, who's dead?
Turns a dead person to life. Yeah.
If you look at the mule below me, I don't know why it was put on the mule, but the mule right below me has a green potion from a goblin.
That's your personal mule, and he's still in Pheromane.
Right.
Living the life of Riley.
I was asking. With a potion, apparently.
Yep.
Mysterious potion.
Okay, so
yeah, I think you should cast the spell. If you think about it, it's like you're using like lesser healing times, I don't know, 20, because you're protecting us all from taking damage. It's a really good exchange.
All right, let's do it then. If we're all in agreement.
So you make the gestures, and your magic moon glow sphere flickers into life.
Yeah, if we need to, we can make 2. We can make. I can make 2 moon glows, one on each item, 2 different items, right? That way we're not so cramped.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose the points anyway. Might as well.
It's a comforting light compared to the other unnatural light coming from the torches down here. But,
and I'm wondering if I can use that other third spell point too. Warding lasts a long time, right?
Potentially, yeah. So you could cast that on
I'm gonna lose that anyway, so I'll put warding on myself.
Okay, so you know what it does. I'll trust you to handle that.
It's +2 defense, yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's head down.
Together, in the light of the warming light of the moon glow, you descend into the depths of the pyramid. The tomb chamber is a high vault faced in grey-green stone and shored up by massive tapering buttresses. There's a gilt sarcophagus resting in a niche on the opposite well, set above the floor with its base on a level with your eyes. You see Subutai and his guard here, looking ragged and exhausted, sort of holding each other up, almost. And they're staring at something. Some source of malign magic. There is something hunched and indistinct taking shape in the centre of the room. A smoky, long-limbed monstrosity from antiquity. You see no eyes or other features until it opens its sharply angled jaws to reveal a glowing gulf of blue light. You have the impression that its head consists entirely of a wide gaping mouth. Then it gives an awful howl and leaps towards Subutai and his companion, since you're behind them. So...
Yippee. We're all going to die horribly.
It's Lopan. David Lopan. I'm in big trouble.
So much for not having any magic left, because Hold Off the Dead would be nice right now. Maybe.
Right, so... Right. Right. The thing pounces and sort of carries Subutai down to the ground, ripping across his chest with its claws, tearing through his robes and splashing blood on the ground.
Needless to say, I'm probably gonna run in and attack the creature.
Yeah, so we have to hit it all together, all in one go, and take it down.
Yeah. His bodyguard roars in anger and prepares to attack, but Sir Alain, you're up first.
A 4.
Okay, so take 10 away from your attack. Is that still under?
Yes, very, very much under.
Okay, roll to bypass armor.
A 5.
5. Okay. Your blade rebounds from its skin, though it doesn't look armored. But there's a flash of magic from your blade, and it rings like a bell as it strikes him.
Oof, gotta roll higher than a 5. Jeez.
Right, Suzora.
Am I still being hired to take down this chinky malarkey, or do you want me to go for the demon?
No. You're not. We were never hired to take them down.
They
We're
just got in the
jerks.
way.
Okay.
You reckon the demon's a bigger threat?
Yeah.
Okay. Aim for the head of the demon with my crossbow.
Okay. Just it's close range, so just roll under your attack.
So what is it to use? Just under attack. Any pluses or minuses?
No, just a d20.
Fingers crossed, guys. Fuck me sideways. 4.
Okay, so that's still going to hit. Roll to bypass
Yep.
armor.
9.
You got a +1 from being assassin, don't you? To
Yep.
penetrate. Yeah, you got the armor piercing feat.
Yeah.
Okay, and roll damage.
8.
Okay. The bolt strikes it and sort of indents the skin and then bounces out, but it does seem weakened, almost like it's returning to its haziness that it appeared from.
Mhm.
Okay. So... Becca.
All right, Becca starts keening and singing and dancing and whirling and going into a berserk rage.
Okay.
So
you trade defense for attack.
Yeah, going all in. Yeah, -9 defense for +3 attack.
Yep, and take 10 away from your attack.
Hey, wait a minute.
What?
I just realized if I attacked with my sword of Valander, then it's D8 +3, not just straight D8.
Yeah.
That means I rolled an 8 instead of a 5.
Well, remember that next turn.
Oh.
You had the wrong sword out. You got to change swords out, man.
Yeah.
This is 8, 16, 20. Oh, it's 8, 21, 24. Yes, exactly on the money. Oh,
Okay.
I needed that.
Roll to bypass armor.
Yes. I rolled a 14 to hit. That was only just good enough.
Yeah. Armor bypass.
6.
And damage.
10.
Okay.
Bring it home.
Yeah, so you'd scream and sing and spin around and drive your blade into its side. It tries to ward you off with its hand. Your blade sort of sinks up its hand into its wrist, and then when it pulls free, you see it heals shut, but it does seem smokier and less distinct. Right. The masked warrior strikes at it for daring to attack his master. It's got nothing left to defend itself. It hits. Bypasses armor. Okay. he just seems to sort of shift and move and strike with extreme efficiency with like 1, 2, 3 blows to the thing. All in perfect form, but it doesn't drop. Madrock.
I'm more tempted to shoot Super Tie or the Warrior, to be honest, but I guess the demon would be, or whatever it is. So I've only got an 11 attack normally. If I'm firing into combat, does that do anything?
Well, if you miss, you might hit one of your friends.
I'll shoot Super Tie in the back.
Okay.
I'm not risking. I'm not risking shooting one of you guys. We're already low on health.
Okay.
Kill you. I'm not doing that.
Roll.
Scoundrel.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Name, actually.
So roll under your attack.
8.
Okay.
Made it by 3.
He's not got any armor, so just roll damage.
So what does crossbow do? So I can just pick this up.
D10, D8.
Yeah, so D8 damage.
D10 to bypass armor and then D8 damage.
Yeah, he's not got any armor, so just damage.
6.
Okay. Yeah, he's trying to mouth an incantation to fight back against the demon when your bolt takes him in the shoulder between the collarbones, and yeah, he's thoroughly dead.
Nice.
Oh,
You killed
on our
it.
side.
Caradon?
Now, now we're gonna die.
You could have done that after the demon was dispelled.
Yeah, then he could have cast a spell at us. I'll stand by my choice.
Okay. Caradon the mage?
Shadow Bolt with from a scroll
Okay.
Oh.
at the demon. It has it's 14 speed of 14 versus the target's evasion.
Can't really evade because he's engaged in close combat, so...
All right, 2d6 plus 10 minus its armor.
Yeah.
What's its minus?
So its armor is 5.
Armor's 5, so it's going to be 2d10 plus 5. I think this is a worthy cause. So I only rolled a 9, so that's 9 plus 5, 14.
14 damage. Well worth it. Okay, so you grab the scroll and unfurl it, and it sort of crumples in on itself and disappears into a black pinprick of anti-light, and then a bolt of shadow flies from where the scroll was and strikes the demon. It howls in agony with purplish lightning crackling over it. New turn. Right. It goes for the masked warrior. And strikes him. Right, it brings down its clawed hand on top of his head and sort of knocks him down to his knees, but he's sort of holding his blades and using the bottoms of his hands to keep it up off him. So he's down but not dead. Right, so Elaine.
Second strike. And this time with the knowledge that my weapon actually gives me
Magic.
a buff.
Okay, take 10 away from your attack.
Seven. That's a hit.
Okay, roll to bypass armor.
6.
And damage.
An 8.
I know we've gone on later than usual. Is everyone still alright? This is the end.
I'm good for another half
Okay.
an hour.
Sorry, how much damage did you get?
8.
Okay. It seems to be barely there anymore. It's just barely holding itself together to fight. Cesora.
I'm going to go, and I'm going to risk it for a chocolate biscuit. I'm going to go for the demon.
Okay.
Backstab it.
So you cast aside your crossbow and move in and strike at it. Take 10 away from your attack and roll.
Ooh, this is going to fucking hurt. Just 5 on the nose.
Okay. And roll to bypass armor.
That will be my short sword, D8 plus 2 plus 1. So that is a grand total of 6.
So just barely. And damage?
Dead on the nose. Patrick Mugohan, number 6.
Okay.
Plus 1, that's 7.
You come in behind it, drive your blade through its back, and it disappears into a puff of foul, sulphurous smoke, leaving a thin yellowish coating on everything. Do you want to continue the combat and take out the bodyguard, or...
I was just going to say, like, as soon as it's disappeared, I'm going to hold up my hand and just yell out, "Hold!"
Okay, is everyone holding?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, the man sort of staggers up, back up to his feet, and sort of looks around at you all, and looks down at his dead master, crouches over him, checks for a pulse, and just seems to sort of go limp.
He obviously missed it where the guy was stabbed in the back.
Sir, you are wounded and vastly outnumbered. Your sword, please.
This is when he starts doing belly slitting.
Quite possibly. Can you do anything? Can you help?
Your dead master. Who was he to you?
My master, as you say.
Well, what was your purpose here?
To protect him.
What was his purpose here?
To find this. To regain his honor. Instead, I've lost mine by failing.
Regain his honor from what?
It's hard to explain. I don't have your language.
Well, look to the group and say, is it worth it? His honor?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Honor is overrated. Surreptitiously loading the crossbow, just in case.
Yeah, I'm thinking what you're thinking. Do we have a desire for
out
him
of
to be alive?
character, can anybody else think what we're thinking?
Out of character, does anybody here care if this guy's alive or dead?
Because, like, okay, so we got this dead guy, and his... What's the word? His, samurai bodyguard, who's now...
His gimp.
Crestfallen.
Now is that person personal?
We do.
I don't
we
think it actually has a date.
We do still have that elixir vitae.
But I'd rather. I mean, if y'all want, I'm sure y'all would rather keep it for in case one of y'all die, because that's an important potion from what it looks like.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Now we can see this this bodyguard up front. What is his kit like? His armor, his weapons? Because he.
Heavy lacquered layers of wood and leather for the armor. The helmet's partially metal. It's pretty good gear.
Does it look like a full suit of samurai gear?
Yes.
Thank you.
He's like, dibs.
Two minds think alike.
My kill, I kill. What you kill, you keep. It's mine.
Well, I'm going to forget that. I'm going to check out this tomb. I'm checking out the tomb.
Okay.
And I'm just going up to the knight and asking him, Do you wish him to be alive, or
Yes.
do we not care? No, not him, but
me.
Erlang or whatever his name.
Erlang.
The knight, not the guard.
Okay.
It appears that whatever he came in here for was great importance, and great importance to whatever nation he is from. We may have acted too harshly. They could, in fact, be allies in the future. It was a mistake to...
There are side chambers off this main chamber, and they're packed with gold, golden ornaments, boxes, bejeweled cups, that sort of thing. There's tons of stuff here.
It's my assumption that this there was a misunderstanding of what was happening here, and I think it would be honorable if we do the right thing.
I'm gonna crouch next to the what's his name, super tie.
Yep.
Pull the crossbow bolt out of his back and palm it.
He wakes up. Ah, he's dead.
And just
So I think
nods to Ceradan.
I walk up to the warrior and I say, I do this for your honor, the honor of your country, the honor of this man. It was a good to come and kill this demon. We have done a good thing today. It was a misunderstanding, but we should all be friends.
A misunderstanding. It was the lizard men.
And
they
then
did everything.
And then say, do you understand what I mean?
He nods.
I pull out a potion and say, stand back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do like a fancy ritual, making it look really important, but it's nothing more than me pouring it down his throat.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it dramatic.
Warrior.
Gonna make it very dramatic. Yeah.
After a few moments, the body twitches and gasps for breath and sits up. The guard sort of lays his hand on his shoulder and obviously explains to him what's happened in their native language. And he staggers up. He looks even more sort of weak and sickly than before, but he is at least alive.
I hide the crossbow behind my back.
Thank you. I owe you my life. I came here for this tomb, but I leave with a valuable lesson in humility.
We could all use better manners in our lives.
Is this Sesame Street or what?
So maybe
Today's dungeon was brought to you by humility, demons, and the number 4.
May we all leave here with lessons learned and possible friendships in our future.
If you should ever find yourselves in my country, my name won't get you far, but it will get you somewhere.
What's that, Fu Manchu?
What exactly was it that you were sent here for?
I was not sent here for anything. My ancestry and my afflictions make me less than favoured. If I could have gathered the riches here and returned with them, I could have bought my way back into favour in the Imperial Court. As things stand, I shall have to find another way.
So you attempted to entrap this creature.
I did not know what was here. We came for the gold, which these tombs are renowned for having. But
We also like gold.
Yeah, but there's tons of it. There's tons of it. Now we could perhaps come to a facilitation.
I will leave with my life and the things I came here with. You're welcome to this.
We could probably. I mean, how much there is? How many ways is it? We could split it.
You would dishonor me by giving me such a gift along with my life. Let me at least repay you this much.
If
Like a real
Okay. I'm gonna grab a Keridin. stage left. I said, we better give him his carpet back. Hey.
Yeah, you want to go fix that real quick?
Anti-retainers, obviously.
Okay.
No, no.
Well, they're happy to leave with what they came with, and are happy to do so. Supertai writes you a letter of introduction. Should you ever find yourselves running into his people again, for what good it will do. There is too much gold here for you to carry. You'll have to make arrangements with Milano and the crew to carry it all out. But yeah, there's plenty there. I mean, a literal fortune on top of whatever it is that Milano manages to make from his deals. So a very lucrative and very well accomplished trip.
Hey!
So we shall finish there. Next session would be planned for next Tuesday. So let me know if you're available.
I'm here.
As and
I
when.
got.
All right.
I'm teaching from school at home, so I got nothing.
I've got a Facebook group where I kind of try and schedule and arrange things. So
Sure.
I'll drop it in my Discord or wherever. But otherwise, we're all done. I'll sort out your treasure and experience points and everything for you by next session. So thanks for playing. Thanks for watching, if you're watching out there in TV land. And I'm going to go and rest my voice and grab a drink and stuff.
Great game, guys.
Cheers, thanks, Jim.
Cheers. It was a lot of fun.
Hilarious,
All right.
fun game, guys.
Take care.
Interesting.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was very